All right, everybody. Welcome to Zelda Speedruns and the OoT randomizer, item randomizer. We have the final Season 3 race. Yes, it is finally going to be happening. If my other co-commentators could join me, that'd be great.
I was
Hey.
just waiting for you to do the introduction.
So let's please welcome our commentators. We have Estania and we have Imasoda. How's it going, you two?
It's been a week. It's definitely been a few weeks.
Doing pretty well. How's chat doing today on this lovely Sunday morning?
All right, we are up and running. We were essentially on time for this race, so I will go ahead and give you guys the comms. Enjoy, everybody.
People seem to be looking forward to a noodle seed.
Off they go.
Right, so, standard question. I think Drew is winning.
Oh yeah.
I do actually quite like the vanilla green, but the red is really nice.
Yeah, red's in season, so this outfit season, so gotta give it to Drew.
Okay, I am either out of practice at this or some of the runners have got some very weird aspect ratios going on. I was not able to tell what was in Mido's house apart from a few pieces of art.
Nothing. Just some hearts, some bloopies, some
And a
hope.
nice trap in the sword chest.
Maybe running a little low on hope right now for the runners. It's just right even at the start here, which is pretty funny.
And they gave you pieces of heart in Mido's house ready for you to get frozen in the sword chest. Fine.
Yeah, I expect everyone to do Open Grotto Owl here. It's just inevitable at this point.
I mean, I quite like Open Grotto Owl, and honestly, it might take you through to Gerudo Valley.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the best opener on Season 3 settings, and I think at the outset here, I think pretty much everyone has realized that, and there's no real reason to commit to anything else. It's just so risk-free.
Well, if you want to get hints early, then going to Gerudo Valley and Lake Hylia is actually a really good route. Because if you need hints, then hints are good. Oh look, outside Ganon's castle is foolish. Who would have thunk it?
Oh, good hint, good hint. Yeah, the only worry there is, of course, time of day, so it's a lot harder to route that in if you do Lake Valley, unless you start with a song, which Season 4 settings looking forward, that is just a thing. So it'll be interesting to see how that affects things.
Yeah, I've not looked in great detail at the Season 4 settings. I think I'm mostly just... It's all very well to see things on paper. I have a few opinions, but I want to see what happens in play, if that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I think the main idea is just they wanted to, well, I think a lot of people wanted to break up the kind of monotony of the opener here that S3 settings has definitely established with 3-song. I mean, it's just the most commonly used thing. You almost do it pretty much every seed. So to get around that, it's like you start every seed having done ZL already. So it's pretty sick.
That's pretty nice, though it does mean you don't get those hints up near the castle. But I guess it means you wait until you get Song of Storms and then you go there and maybe get the grotto. But aren't they doing something with grotto hints?
Yeah, the grotto hints would be disabled, so those just aren't a thing. There's no Baron hints. There's one less way of the hero. All the Temple of Time hints are all the same copy of the same hint. So a lot of changes in terms of hints. Ooh, there's Iron Boots.
Ooh, Iron Boots, that's
Richard
nice.
the Doc.
Clover, Wind Waker randomized. There's literally a spoiler log Wind Waker rando tournament happening at the moment. they've got a schedule which says when the various different races are happening, if you want to see some Wind Waker rando. Okay, who caught the Temple of Time hints? Because I didn't.
ZL is at Requiem is one of the hints. It's a pretty good hint to have.
That's useful to know.
Yeah. We'll get another look here anyway at the hints.
Way of the Hero Market sounds like maybe those iron boots. And Deku Way of the Hero. Yep. I mean, if you wanted hints to have less power, then yeah, that's a pretty much a set of less powered hints.
You also won't be seeing anything like this from Goradine. You just start with sticks and nuts on S4 settings. Also
Okay,
pretty
that
useful.
I do like.
Yeah, it's just a lot more convenient. And there's Lostwood's Way of the Hero. Yeah, getting a second look at the Temple of Time is from Goradine. Just kind of confirming what Chad has said already.
Yeah, was that the Lost Woods Way of the Hero I saw?
Yeah, the one by the moat there.
Okay, this looks like it might get interesting then. Maybe we'll have a Way of the Hero slingshot for the target in the woods. That'd be fun.
Yeah, this collection of hints, as long as you go to market, you make the time of day before the gate goes up. I think everyone in the race will be doing 3-song pretty hard, unless they go
I mean,
like
some people go
just
early
straight adult.
adult. That is a thing.
Yeah, I mean,
You might decide otherwise on seeing the market Way of the Hero, though.
Deku Market, Lostwood's Way of the Hero, that just...
Yeah, we're going to be having a long child one here today, which isn't necessarily always the case. Ooh, Nocturne. That's a nice one to get early. Just really nice to move around, manage to find things. Always nice to see. On the other hand, it does mean that we can get to Shadow Temple if that's a thing that's relevant early. Let us please not have to go to Shadow.
Yeah, I'm sure they're hoping more for Warp Songs anyway. At this point, they're probably looking for Requiem so they can get ZL pretty easily, instead of having to go across the wasteland.
Yes, but that would be easy. What kind of a rando seed would this be if it was easy? Oh, 30's dead. Nice to know. We don't have to go about 30 skulls. Everything is fine. And Cariosa is hunting chickens, as is Alfalfa. Alfalfa is not having luck finding these chickens.
Yeah, okay, so also having a little bit of trouble here.
Sorry, yes, I was looking at Cariosa. I don't know why I said Alfalfa while I was looking at Cariosa. It looks like that was 30, not 50, yes. On the other hand, that's a vanilla bottle. It's not got milk in, but that is a vanilla bottle, if I remember correctly, from the chickens game from Talon.
I think so.
Because he gives you a bottle of Lon Lon milk for winning.
Getting Bolero here, it's not bad at all.
Yeah, I'm liking the prevalence of warp songs here. Going to be much less of a slog wandering around everywhere. Go on, what's in the back?
Ooh. There's a strength there. The back come on.
That's pretty nice. Definitely worth the walk. Because, like, strength, we don't know where all our medallions are, but strength is certainly something you can use to get around Dongo's Cavern. That said, I expect we're going to the Deku Tree first.
Yeah, Way of the Hero with Way of the Hero Lost Woods. No one's not gonna do 3-song here. There's just...
Way of the Hero Deku Tree as well as Way of the Hero Lost Woods, so. Though, interestingly, that means they might want to stock up on money. Or hope they find some in the Deku Tree, because otherwise they're not going to be able to afford the Scrubs if they find the bombs.
It's pretty likely, and unless it's just a bunch of junk, they'll get an item or money, which is always the hope with Deku.
Well, we're going to at least find something decent in Deku. And if we only find a wallet, we're going to start cackling.
Fairly sure it's just going to be Bomb Bag or Hookshot in Deku, if I had to guess.
I mean, yes, but that's a boring answer. We want some interesting answers.
It'll be Prescription.
Ooh, that could be an
You want
interesting
your
one, yes.
interesting.
That looks like 40 Skulls is also dead.
Alright.
Go on, chat. What's the most awful thing we can find in Deku Tree? Bonus points if you can think of an awful combination of two. Yes, Alfalfa plays on a keyboard, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, there's a few keyboard players in the community, and they're all pretty good. They all have to be good.
Fountain, Wave the Hip. Oh, that's magic. That's probably our Wave the Hero. But Fountain, Wave the Hero, I do like Fountain, Wave the Hero.
Magic's a pretty boring one.
Yes, but we do have those irons in the market, which is also Way of the Hero. So I'm wondering if this is a chain. Because if it's a chain, then Iron Boots in market for Icy Waters, Inzora's Fountain as adult. Could be interesting. Ooh, that's a hammer.
Okay, 2 items in Deku. It's always good. Could just be a loaded Deku.
Could just be loaded Deku. But yeah, Magic and Hammer and Nocturne. If we start seeing more of the Shadow Starter Kit, then we start getting worried. On the other hand, that does mean we can get to all the Scrubs in the Lost Woods as adults, but I don't know if the Scrubs are in the grotto as an adult.
Which Scrubs?
The Lost Wood Scrubs outside Sacred Forest Meadow.
Oh, yeah.
Are they there as adults?
Yeah.
That could be interesting then.
It's definitely a logic now with the hammer.
Thank you, Purple.
Well,
I knew that one of the Scrubs wasn't there. I just couldn't remember which set of Scrubs wasn't there. It's the Bridge Scrub.
Not technically in logic yet, I guess, without Sorry is, but, you know, small details.
There's many ways around that. Not in logic, yes, but skipping ahead in logic can be useful.
Oh yeah, for sure. It also could just be the bomb grotto near the Goron City entrance.
Oh, chat has pointed out that 2 runners have skipped the second Deku hint, which was actually the Zora Fountain Wave the Hero, so that could come back to bite them. Also, yes, I did just kind of stop when it's like, oh, that's the Stone of Agony. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, skipping the second Deku hint, I just feel like it's getting greedy on S3 settings.
Yeah, like, hints are incredibly powerful. You should be using them. And also, I quite like hint because it means that every run is different. Oh, look, there's a slingshot. I did say. So we have Goma in logic right from the get-go.
It's pretty nice. I mean, 3 items from Deku, Magic Hammer, Slingshot. I expect no one will be mad at this. This will be a pretty good start by all accounts.
It would also be absolutely hilarious if the slingshot is the way the hero is pointing you towards rather than the magic or the hammer. That would be hilarious. Unfortunately, it seems unlikely with that Zora's Fountain way of the hero hint.
Yeah, it's just starting. There's still a lot that could be possible, and these items they're not like dungeon specific. They're not like Mirror Shield, Letter, that kind of thing. So it's still a little bit up in the air.
Oh yeah, you've still got loads of options here. But yeah, I remember the invitational race that Trez did before. I want to say it was season 3, but it might have been season 2, where it was absolutely plandoed, and there was one single thing locking progression, and it was using slingshot at targeting the woods. Because everyone avoided it and last locationed it, because it's like, this slingshot can't possibly be the way of the hero. It was the way of the hero.
Yeah, Target and Woods was a pretty unpopular check in the first half of this year. Just kind of in the meta. It was pretty funny. Overall.
Oh hey, choose on Goma, so now we can definitely get into that Scrub's Grotto as child. Do we have enough money for everything though?
Dang. Yeah, Alfalfa for Cariosa, all set for Gordy and Adrunas have a little bit more money. But they're not gonna find anything in Deku. They're just gonna find items. Just getting in the way of their capitalistic dreams.
They might decide just to do the bridge scrub, or they could even save scum the bridge scrub.
Yeah,
that would
just
be
5.
interesting. Oh, only 5 chews. In which case, interesting question of, do you use this on the Scrub Grotto given way of the hero area? Oh good, I'm not the only one who misread that as watermelon. Also, did I see Bigoron being dead?
Yep.
Man, that was a vicious eye infection. Yeah, those Skull Kids in the Woods definitely know more than they're letting on. Nearly playing Song of Soaring.
Shoutouts to Drunus's sick B1 skip there. It's a pretty hard setup. Just getting that pretty easily.
Gotta have the swag. Wait, what?
Yeah, Mirror Shield is in Lost Woods.
Mirror Shield on the Ocarina game. Okay, yeah, that would count as a way of the hero, and that means we're going to Spirit.
Hopefully it's a medallion. Is it just like more
if it's not a medallion, then buckle up folks, we have an all dungeons possibly. Go on, Cariosa, shoot the Wolfos in the butt with your slingshot.
I still don't know what's on Saria's quite yet. Curios is going to get there first over Alfalfa.
Yep. Oh, that would be mean, Jay. Stone Spirit Light Arrows on Twin Rover. That would be mean.
Yeah, they were half of the way there with strengths already, so it's not that bad.
Yeah. Song of Time.
They know if they have to get ZL from Requiem anyway, so it doesn't change a whole lot.
Yeah, one way or another, you're going over there. And that looked like 10 Big Pose was just arrows. Was that 10 Big Pose or was that chickens?
It's chickens dead. Yeah, curious. So just going straight adult here now. Unless he's gonna do chickens, possibly. Definitely gonna peek the graveyard ledge.
Well,
Wants
didn't
to
they
know if
just
he has
see a
to use
chicken
the
scent?
what?
Didn't they just see the chicken scent, or did they skip out?
Oh, I think they did, and then yeah. So they'll just be going straight adult.
I mean, I'd like to say that we never need to cross the wasteland, but we did just find the mirror shield in a Way of the Hero area. I highly doubt we're not going to Spirit Temple somewhere.
Yeah, I have to see the hints in a few of the places yet. I think that was Minuet on Ocarina of Time, right?
I didn't see.
It's on Druid's side. It was by the bridge
Chat
salesman.
is backing you up. Sorry, I was too busy grinning and trying to work out whether to grin or groan at ending me on this joke. Wrong sci-fi in the TARDIS. I see you. I see you.
I think there was Bomb Bag at Frogs 2 and Water Temple. No, not Bomb
Was that
Bag.
Water Temple Way of the Hero?
Yeah, final
was.
PTT chest is also dead.
So, hey, we've got Azora's Fountain Way of the Hero. We've got a Water Temple Way of the Hero. Which one's the hind boots needed for? The answer of both is legitimate. But what is messing with us there?
Definitely for at least Water Temple.
You mean, I mean, we could have a really interesting setup here because we know that Fountain is locked behind Zelda's Lullaby, which is across the desert. So this gives the possibility of something like dipping into Water Temple to find the hover boots to get across the wasteland to get Zelda's Lullaby to go back to Fountain in order to get the hook shot or long shot to do water. Long shot. You need the hook shot to get in. That would be fun. Or it could be even more stupid than that.
Yeah. Curious and not wasting any time here going adult.
Oh, does that mean you don't want to have an awful noodly seed? Oh, we were promised no spaghetti in the noodle seed. Oh. But delicious noodles.
Definitely like Curious' play here. You know,
Medallion check.
pedestal info first over everyone else.
Fire,
It's not like
spirit,
Alfalfa
forest.
is using bomb choose right now, which is not exactly what you want to be doing. I think he's going to be saves coming up here anyway, so it's not a huge deal. But you're going to have to like retrace your steps here, and already having Hammer, Curious is going to not waste any time.
So I'd like to point out, we have Stone Water Way of the Hero, and we've got two of the things to enter Shadow already. It could be logically expecting you to do all dungeons. Yep, buckle up your seatbelts. This is going to be fun. We might be here a while. Oh.
Just letter. Nice.
That's a useful letter.
Just by Boulder. Yeah, it was by the Boulder outside of the market entrance.
Oh, no wallet Way of the Heroes for Ruto's letter today.
Checking Tektite because of the Iron Boots way to hero. Makes a lot of sense.
Yep. I like this. It's not very often you see the Hyrule Field grottos checked early. And Ema, you do realise you could have said that pun in the actual commentary rather than just relegating it to chat, right?
No, see, with puns like that, you have to want to like kind of bait people into reading it instead of having them like, have to listen to it, because then if they stumble upon it, it's way worse. It's way worse than if they just hear it from me. It's almost like they have to blame themselves for reading it, so I don't know, it's a double-edged sword. So it depends on the pun, I think.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good point. We do have Song of Time and Stone Waterway of the Hero. River Chest? It's been a very weird week. Of course, I want some nice evilness in the seed. Though, admittedly, I won't complain too much if it's just a jet and everyone goes, whee! Look, it's been a week. I never said I had much brain, okay?
Looks like it's going to be about a 5-ish minute difference, at least for Alfalfa and almost Goradine here. Let's see what Drew does, if he goes adult or not, but about that gap of time between Karios and the rest of them going adult, so we'll see if that time catches up at all, or is it possibly just Karios is ahead by 5 minutes.
I do like the fact that Cariosa is going a different route. Like, I see why they're saying child. There's a lot of kind of child-centric areas, and it's just a case of what order do you hand things in?
Yeah,
I
think
mean,
a lot of it.
Chat is awful. We know that chat is mean to the runners. This is not a surprise.
A lot of what Karios is doing right now is like proximity-based routing, so you know that you're gonna be doing what he's doing right now 100% of the time. So he wants to do these checks over the Lost Woods checks. The way the hero checks, they might not be leading exactly to an item. He already found Mirror Shield. It's just not a huge priority for him to full clear Lost Woods. So
I mean,
coming
Marcus
to
is
doing
way the hero as well.
Sure, but that also could be for like an adult item, Iron Boots were found there as well. So I really think it's just a matter of wants to get to more guaranteed checks first. And that kind of sequencing can add up in a big way, depending on what happens in the seed.
Make sure to clear your sphere zeros. Ooh, rich cow. Had a wallet and everything. Wait, aren't like wallets usually made of leather in this time period? I shouldn't ask questions like that. Anyway, so the song in the windmill looks like
It's vanilla.
Yeah.
Yeah, see that cow slayed his cow buddy and then just made a wallet out of him, so just stuff your money into his dead friend.
Well, at least they have something to remember them by.
That is true. At least they're useful now.
Oh, harsh, harsh. There is someone who has not played Cow Fantasy much. Okay, so now we have everyone getting their Rito's letter. I like the fact that Goradine has gone and got Epona's song in Bolero. That's useful.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing to do. It's a little bit riskier. You don't have bomb bags, so you probably can't even do Fire Temple right now. It does have that
One
bottle.
second. 1 second to spare getting into the fire temple. That was close.
He does have that bottle, but he's only on 4 hearts, and Alfalfa's also on 4 hearts. Cariosa's on 6, and then Drunis is on 4 as well. So it's really, Cariosa's route is definitely paying off a little bit more here in the early game.
I do find it interesting that they've seen that bolero and the hammer and gone straight for fire temple. That could be what it's expecting them to do. But
Yeah,
also, like, I like the idea of going there, but
I don't think it's
it
a
makes
bad.
more sense to do Cariosa's route.
Yeah, I think logically it makes a lot of sense, and
I like
it's
being
just
able to read the seed.
it's a little higher risk is all it is. But all he's gonna do is Nocturne out once he gets locked down in fire. So I don't think it's a bad dip at all. It's progression. Could definitely have an item there. Hammer was in Deku Way the hero, so
Oh yeah. Like it's nice, but I like the idea of doing the other stuff first. And okay, Cariosa is just looks like Cariosa is buying into all dungeons or just going, Dodongo's Cavern is quick.
I think that's more of the second case. It's Dodongo's. I mean, Hammer, Strength, Way the hero. You can full clear this with the bomb choose. So
Yep.
I
Also, I
it's.
think I might have seen Gerudo's Fortress Barrow? Or was that Ganon's castle?
Oh,
I knew it was a G. I knew it was 2 words long and it began with a G.
I'm pretty sure it was Ganon's.
Scale? That's a
Ganon
silver
basic.
scale in Dodongo's Cavern. That is potentially interesting because that gives access to once we have Zelda's Lullaby. No, in fact, no, even without it, we can hand in the letter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can hand in the letter. We still can't get to ice, but we can get to the fountain, Jabu Jabu Fountain Fairy. But again, we don't have Zelda's Lullaby.
I wonder if anyone in the race is gonna just be like, you know what, ZL's at Requiem, I have Epona's, I'm just gonna go across without hovers or long shot and just go get ZL. I wonder if anyone's gonna do that.
Oh, I bet you some of them will. There are some people who will look at that and take it as a damn challenge.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad idea. If you already do 3 song and you go adult, you're 30 minutes in here. I think rushing it is definitely on the table, especially if you know you're gonna have to go to DMT area. You could go to Graveyard and get a song, whereas everyone else has to go back there. The only problem is you don't know where Requiem is for sure.
Yeah, it could be that Requiem is just somewhere nice and easy to find and you can walk it. Speaking of nice, easy routes that you can just walk, Drew actually taking the intended exit out of Dampé's grave. How often do you see that? Just
Yeah,
straight up walking out of the grave, playing the song, going into the windmill.
And whenever you have Song of Time, it's just good to do that. It's faster if you're going back to CAC.
And it means you don't have to deal with the weird collision of jumping on that little pillar to get up.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're not on VC, it doesn't load anything, so you get around 1 load time, or 2 rather.
Yeah. That, Cariosa, that is not how you get a ground jump stored. Even if it is the claim check's not helpful today. Bigoron has a red rupee.
Yeah, so far nothing really of note except the scale in DC.
Yeah, they are really rich on bottles this seed, though. Like, we're at 3 out of 4 bottles already. We're nearly at bottle percent.
Oof. Sub-hour.
Sub-hour bottle percent.
You could see Cariosa just scum the choose here completely. Just open the mouth, go defeat Dodongo, see what the item is, then just save scum that. But it looks like it's not going to happen. I think it's just going to clear DC and that'll be that. He's already committed at this point.
If you're looking at that logical dungeons and just buying into it, it makes sense. We know that the song is only Minuet, but that could be our logical access, and Minuet still makes it faster.
Yeah, with already Bolero, though, I mean, it's a
Yeah,
little
true.
bit longer to get to Forest Temple that way, but they don't even have all the items to do that yet. They still have to
They
find
have
a
no way
bow
to
and
get
a
out of
woodcut.
Bolero area.
Yeah, that too. That too. Cordine just making sure they know exactly which songs they have. And I think we're going to be seeing at least a GTG dip fairly soon after DC. I mean, they don't really have too many places they could go. They could go to Bomb of the Well, but without CL, I mean, it's probably not as likely as it would be. Gonna see what's on King Dodongo here in just a second.
I would be interested to check out Zora's Domain, especially with that letter and that scale. So, Hylia Domain, if they really want, they can go take a look at the Rang chest in Jabu.
It's true. And most of the difference that you're seeing right now for the restream is just a case of cutting out as much overworld as possible, trying not to retrace your steps as much as possible. So that's why you're kind of seeing Karios at the end of DC, whereas Alfalfa and Drew at the start, and Gordian's just about to get in there.
I'm interested if they actually do adult Goron City, because they do have that hammer. They can just straight up go and check out the maze. Mason, we have an entire Discord. We have a channel specifically dedicated to setup support and gameplay support. So all the resources are on there, and people can help you set up if you're having issues with the instructions. Yep, check the resources channel, and all will be good.
Yeah, a ton of helpful people in the community. So just ask questions, reach out, and learn. It's a fun game. So
Stab!
curry sword, nice.
Like the little stabbo.
It's going to get a lot more attention in Season 4 with closed Deku as an option being added. Definitely interesting. Trying to cut down on early Deku plays, which makes a lot of sense. Super powerful dungeon, so kind of displacing it to later in the seed, well, kind of gets rid of a lot of that power. But
I'm not sure what to think about things, because then it just means there is one check that locks the dungeon and you're looking for that check before you go and do it, and you rush it as soon as you find it. But it's going... This is why I want to see how it plays.
yeah, there's a couple advantages. If you find it late in the seed, you can just go mode Deku. Like if you have Dins, you just burn the web, go to the Goma, you're good. And at that point, it's like 2 minutes maybe. So it's not necessarily bad that you have to wait a while to go to Deku. Now it's just kind of like a weird Jabu, essentially.
A weird Jabu. Acting as if Jabu isn't already weird.
It's like twice the number of things in Jabu or something. So it's a lot better, but it's pretty much just that.
Ooh, final slingshot on 50 skulls, thank you. No one's getting that. So maximum we are going to need this seed is 20, if any. Oh, you're doing this with the bomb flower. Okay. Enjoy that, Cariosa. Have fun. Now, what will everyone else do with that scale when they come out of here? It's still probably Adult Goron City.
Yeah, I don't think you do anything else. Oh, that's a 6 strat from Drew. You just grab the side of the block, and then the hole's not big enough, so you just go in. There's the hook shot as well from
Oh,
North
hi,
City.
hook shot. So, we have scale and we have hook shot. Do you go to water? No, but that's what I'm thinking. Do you go to water now? You do have that Zora tunic, you do have the irons, and you do have the hook shot. But do you do it now without the bow? Or do you, for example, maybe go Child's Turn in the letter and then root together? Yeah, no, it's probably water. I was wondering if you could link together the things, but you really need Zelda's Lullaby before you do that if you're heading off to Ice Cavern after water.
Yeah, I think you choose either turn in the letter, go fountain, or grow water. And without Serenade, it's going to be a little tough getting down to water, but they do have Eponas, so it's not necessarily the worst right now. And you don't really want to go to water without finding the bow. It's a really, really good point too. And they do have strength at least, so they can do most things in there. They also don't have ZL yet, so I think like
It
even just
could
crossing
be.
Wasteland right now is probably their best bet. Just to get
Yeah,
ZL.
I am not very good at crossing Wasteland, and so though actually does that hook shot does put it into logic, doesn't it? The hook
You need
shot is on Link the Goron,
still need a long
and pretty much
shot.
they all just got it.
The waterway hero could just be Morphos, so they want to be really careful about kind of committing to water right now. It's a pretty risky play.
Yeah, but also I hate doing Wasteland, so
Yeah.
I really ought to learn Lensless Wasteland. I really ought to. I've kind of half memorized it.
So if that's
You need
true,
long
then
shot for logic crossing the wasteland, so no, that's not
yeah.
actually an option. Or at least not an option in logic.
Right, so if you don't want to cross Wasteland, then I think your next best bet then is just to hand in letter, go Ice Cavern. Because then you could just get Requiem. At that point, you get ZL, and then the seed really takes off from there.
Hang on. So what you're saying is if you don't want to cross the wasteland, you use that Zelda's Lullaby that you get by crossing the wasteland to get to Ice Cavern.
Just find hovers. I guess that's where we're at right now, so yeah. I guess so.
Yay, we don't have to care about Skullmask this seed.
Now, if you had to guess, where do you think hovers are going to be? Because we know we probably need them at least to get to ZL. We might just find Longshot anyway. Like, what if we get Longshot in water? So where do you think
They bottom
hovers
of the
could be?
well.
Bottom of the well?
Because we got that storms early. I'd also say hovers in Water Temple would be hilarious.
We also have no song way the heroes in the seed, which is pretty interesting. It's mostly just about finding all the items because Ganon is dead. Well, Ganon's castle is dead, but Ganon will be dead,
We wish Ganon was dead that easily. That would make the seed a lot faster. None of this having to find items nonsense.
Yeah, just take a 2-hour nap and then wake up, and then Ganon will probably be dead by somebody's hands. Find out who.
Yeah, I think Ravio tried that. it took a while and the destruction of their entire home, but I think he tried that.
Yeah, Cariosa just getting a peek the first time at the water way the hero.
And Cariosa getting whatever this song is, which we saw in Alfalfa, but I completely missed. Well, that was an early boss key in Forest.
It's his son's.
Ooh. Well, Sun Song is interesting, at least. So I'm guessing whenever they get Zeldas and go back for the song in the Composer Grave, they'll hand in Sun Song chests.
Mm-hmm.
No, not going hard on skulls. Skull Mask hint is dead. And the skulls themselves, the maximum we will need is 20 today.
Yeah, and with no Cackway the hero, I would definitely not be invested in skulls right now for if I was one of the ones running.
I mean, I would, but I like making. Okay, so different. It's a thing that I tend to think. I know that my execution absolutely sucks. So if I'm intending to do well in a race, then I need to take a gamble on checks which other people are less likely to go for. And remembering to always go for 20 bloody skulls is one of them, because everyone forgets 20 skulls despite the fact it's really easy to get.
Yeah, I think you could see it both ways, but if you're worried about execution at that point, right, why not just skip skulls completely? Cuts out a lot of time that you would otherwise spend getting them.
The thing is, my knowledge of where skulls are is fairly good, so playing to my strengths.
That's fair.
I did the 100 skull thing as a child. I was infinitely disappointed by the reward for 100 skulls. I didn't realize it was infinite. I was just like, really? This is what I get for all of that pain and suffering trying to find the bloody things by myself? And this is what you'll give me?
I think skulls overall really depends on which skulls that you can collect versus the ones that you should if you're trying to optimize 1020 versus like 4050. So getting that skull knowledge early is really important.
Getting knowledge early is really important. It's why I like going for hints.
But like there's a big difference between Lon skulls and like, I don't know, bottle skulls. Like the bottle skulls are just going to be way better.
Oh yes, screw the bottle skulls.
I don't know, those are the good ones. Available super early in Logic usually, just need a bottle and a song.
Yeah.
Can use them for 20, 30, and 40.
Yeah, I just find that occasionally they're a bit buggy for me.
Yeah, sometimes they don't like to get in the hole. Sometimes you have to kind of nudge them in.
Yep. Yeah. We have Nocturne Purple. Nocturne was on the Zelda's Lullaby check. That was the first song that we got.
Ooh, nice for Roar's Wind. It's the map
Ooh,
chest.
tasty. Oh, right, Requiem. That makes more sense. No place for Requiem that's not locked by either Beating Spirit or having Zelda's Lullaby. Yeah, early Roar's Wind, early Magic. Honestly, that actually makes me more inclined to turn in Ruto's Letter. Because then, as a child, you can just leave that Roar's Wind in Jabu as a child. Emo, that is a really easy choice. I would far rather fight a mantis-sized man.
Don't be so sure. It's pretty deadly too. What if they just climb into your ear canal? they
The
can
ear
do some
canal is
serious
far
damage
bigger than a
there.
mantis. Mantises are actually fairly big. Like,
I never
are
said
fairly
it.
big. They're not going to climb into your ear canal. They are, however, a great size to, put in a bottle.
I don't know. Like you gotta imagine though, right? Because they're people too, so they have tiny little hands, but they can like craft things. They can craft tools against you.
Not in a bottle, they can't.
And their target's so big, I don't know. Whereas the man-sized mantis, if you're going for glory, that'd be so sick if you actually won.
That
You
would be
probably
freaking
won't.
terrifying.
You probably won't. Anyway. Not a whole lot of updates yet. June is still kind of dipping fire. Went above in the elevator up to the, not upper maze, but lower maze here. Has enough keys that he's not going to get locked out and even not having bow, so pretty fortunate.
Yeah.
Has 5 keys right now.
I'd probably want to open shortcut. Yep, Bill McDonald is right. Exoskeletons only work when small. Biology facts are great, folks. Also, the fact that it's actually kind of the size of insects is at least partially determined by the level of oxygen in the atmosphere. That one's fun.
So, alfalfa. It's kind of angling toward river. I think they're going to go to lake, but I don't think they set up scarecrow, so it might be just a straight up water play here.
I have no idea what Gorodine is doing.
Because I don't think they did Southfield, so they're probably just doing Southfield either into GTG or into Fountain, if they were planning to go to Cross Wasteland possibly. But without bow, it's definitely risky. Either way, it's risky.
Drunus going straight over the shortcut. Maybe they'll come back for us in a minute.
Yeah, I think so. This is how I do it too. You just go for the upper, then you go for the shortcut.
Yeah, I just don't trust myself not to fall down while trying to get to this Goron.
Yes, sometimes you don't have to climb back up that way. You can just save quit if BK has a shortcut and you don't want to do deep fire. So it gives you a slight advantage in terms of options.
Oh yeah, but bear in mind that my strategies and tactics are entirely based around my own ineptitude here.
It's always good to know what you're capable of, though, too, at the same time.
Yeah, like I know my limitations, and so I make choices that minimize the risk.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, hello, Gorodine. We're seeing bottom of the well. This is you. This is good. Let's see if it's bait. Delicious, delicious bait.
You never really want to come here without ZL2. It's pretty...
But it means that if there is something here, if this is logical progression, you are way in ahead of everyone.
Everyone, I'm not so sure about that. There could be somebody that just comes here after like an early adult tip, and they come here like 40 minutes in or something, so they could have already done this. But then they would be missing a lot of early kind of child stuff anyway, so... 15 skulls up for Gorodine.
That's
Definitely
pretty
rushing
impressive.
20. Definitely rushing 20. So it makes a lot of sense to do Bomb the Well if you know you can get 20. He's gonna have 18, which is kind of an issue. 19 if he gets the skull in the soil and graveyard.
20 if he goes to the Wall and Death Mountain Trail, but he might have already done that. That said, do we actually know pronouns? Is Godin he pronouns?
Is he what?
He
Oh,
pronouns,
I'm
he,
not.
him.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
It is on race time, so I would assume yes.
Okay, thank you, VXR. And over the chasm, Cariosa is going to check hammer rocks. They have not forgotten that they have their hammer.
Yeah,
For a
surely
Deku Shield.
Curiosa Alfalfa probably, I would imagine, are gonna possibly go across Wasteland, but going to GTG is also a pretty strong play right now. So it's a good location if you
If
don't
you're
want to go
coming here
to.
this early in the seed, there's no way that either of them aren't going to cross Wasteland.
Yeah, I mean,
And
you can't get
Drunus
to
is,
ice.
yeah, Drunus is in fact just going, having a bad time with those doors. Bomb Jews are not behaving today. Yep,
Yeah,
Drunus heading straight up fire.
probably went behind the door.
Yeah, it just looked like it was having fun climbing all around the walls of that alcove. Alfalfa is heading to Gerudo Training Grounds. We will see if he finds anything in there. Now, will Cariosa do the same, or will he wander across the wasteland?
Kind of a weird order for Corradine's Bomb the Well.
Not seen Gordine's name before, so I don't know what he usually does.
Yeah, I believe he's in the Challenge Cup, and then a few other tournaments as well, so he's definitely been around. Nice, there's long shot for Alfalfa and GTG.
Ooh, that's nice. That was right hand row?
Yeah, the BMOS chest, so it is out of logic, but it's there, unless they find a bomb bag.
That is bloomin' convenient. Yeah, it's bomb locked, but that is super convenient right there.
More bomb shoes and bomb the well. Looks like 20 pack.
Bomb of the well? I don't think Drunus was rewarded for their trip up Fire Temple.
No.
Fire Bosky is Pierre. Oh no. Are we sure about that, Purple?
Yeah, Drew went the whole way.
Well, actually, no. He wasn't able to check the map chest because he didn't have a bow. Or did I just miss him guessing that chest?
You definitely could have gotten it just climbing over the wall.
Okay, I did not
pretty
see him
sure.
climbing over the fence then. My bad.
It's possible he didn't do it, but I'd imagine he would.
Gardine looks like he's done with the well. I don't think they picked up anything.
No, just the 20 pack of chews and bomb the well.
Honestly, I'm not complaining about a 20 pack of juice.
For 5 minutes, he already had 10. It's not exactly where you want to be.
No, I'm still happy for getting juice.
That's fair. Just gonna check 10 here. I think it's first look.
Nice, nice. It's a bloopy.
Nice.
So basically, my choices aren't paying out today.
And Cariosa bailing on GTG. It's
Whereas Alfalfa is heading for the toilet.
it's riding those iron boots way to hero pretty hard.
If
think
you
it's
are
possible
subscribed,
that
if you're subscribed to ZSR, we have the lovely, lovely toilet emote. There we go. People showing off our lovely, lovely emotes. I've not managed to win a subscription from getting a bet right for a while, so I don't have them at the moment. I quite enjoy winning them from getting bets right.
well, he didn't want to bet where hovers were, so I don't know.
Yep, we're seeing the river. And are we going to see some beans? Are we going to be a good healthy boy and get some beans? Yes, we are.
Ooh, just a piece of heart in the toilet. Alfalfa setting for Oarswind and GTG.
Yeah,
Not
maybe.
sure if Cariosa did that. Might have forgotten. Well, those are lighters in river.
Wait, what? Was that just lights just chilling?
Yeah, they're just there.
Okay, just chilling. Fine.
You just go to my light arrow tree and pluck one off. You know what sounds good right now? A light arrow smoothie.
Ooh, that sounds actually really quite tasty. Apart from, you know,
Ew.
the fact that arrows are made of wood, but a smoothie made of light magic. That would be nice.
Yeah, it'll purify you and smite you into oblivion. It's really tasty.
I'm not lemon flavor. I mean, it looks like lemon flavor, but I'm not sure it would taste like lemon.
Light arrow smoothies now comes in lemonade flavor.
Well, I guess it would satisfy you if you just wanted a light snack. Oh, hey, Wasteland Foolish!
Wow, so we get the trifecta of OGC, Haunted Wasteland, and Ganon's
Ganon's
Foolish.
Castle.
Yeah, see, why do you want Foolish? It's not going to tell you anything good.
Look, it's the last time that it's going to be able to troll you with foolish hints. It's clearly just like petulant, like, okay, you're going to take away my foolish hints, are you? Well, fine, you don't deserve nice foolish hints.
It was a sick lens fine in GTG for Alfalfa. So we know that crossing Wasteland, we already knew it was in logic that they have to do that. Because Requiem is most likely at ice or otherwise locked. And we already have long shot.
Is that lens in logic?
No, I don't think so. Because the long shot's still bomb locked.
Yes,
So...
but you only need the hookshot in the hookshot run. No, I'm asking if just getting to the lens is in logic. Looked like lens was in Wolfos run?
I think so. I mean, we still would need to find Bob back, but...
Oh yeah, and we need hovers or that long shot to be in logic. Currently, it's not. It's actually, I would not be surprised to see the bomb bag in Domain or on something like Child Fishing.
I want to see hovers at the bottom of the lake in icy waters. It's where my guess is.
Can't be.
It cannot not be.
Unless we have a bomb bag in logic to get that hook shot, then hovers can't be locked by Zeldas. We need to have at least one route across the wasteland, which means bomb bag or hovers needs to be found somewhere.
If I was in Gordon's shoes, I would definitely assume bomb bag's already in logic, because we already know that the bomb shoes are not in logic, and bomb the well was so early available, so I would assume bomb bag's just like, I don't know, it's just like some overworld check somewhere. It could be 20, it could be whatever, really.
Bomb bag on 20 would be hilarious.
It's kind of what it's looking like. I mean, they have
it could be on diving game. It could be in this chest.
It's true.
It could be. I still quite like child fishing. Thanks, Goradine. That was an excellent shot of a Zorabutt. Thank you for that photo bomb of Zorabutt.
Good sticks. Oh, look.
Right.
Bomb bag and domain.
Can I say I called it? Am I allowed to say I called it?
You said a diving game.
I said diving or chest.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess so.
But yeah, okay. Now the hover boots can be in the fountain.
Ah. So you just gotta assume bomb bags in logic. You don't bother finding it. That's a waste of time. Just use your bomb shoes. Because with the early hammer, you can definitely get away with no bomb bag. It's pretty easy.
Oh yeah.
You only need like maybe 10 explosives or something to complete the game in some scenarios.
Yeah, that seems like remarkably few. Oh, Druna's just missing the recoil strat.
Like for example, if you only have shadow and water and like spirit even, that's still only like 4 like total max that you would need.
Yeah, I can't calculate that off the top of my head.
That's why it's always kind of there's a lot of good useful info, there's a lot of useless useful info. I think that it falls into the latter camp where it doesn't usually come up, but sometimes there's a hedge against bomb bag, and assuming there's nothing on bomb shoe bowling, you kind of do that, like add it up and be like, well, it's probably not worth just finding bomb bag at this point.
Mark is Way of the Hero. There could well be something on bomb tube bowling as well, even if we do think it's the iron boots. So there could still be something on bomb tube bowling, which might be where Goradine is heading now. Just very slowly because they are a small child. Alfalfa, first to get Zelda's freaking lullaby.
Karaoke got that already.
Oh, I was too busy looking at Goradine and Zora's Domain, wasn't I?
I think so.
Damn it.
It's not a huge deal, no. So it's kind of just been Alfalfa Cariosa kind of trading the lead back and forth here. So kind of to get a good big picture here, about an hour and 8 minutes in. Well, the first out of Deku, Alfalfa Cariosa, then Drew, then Gordine. And then to the first adult, Cariosa was first, and then everyone else was like maybe 5-ish minutes behind. Now, Gordine dipped fire. We had Drew dip fire. Cariosa was first to DC at 30 minutes. DC.
I mean, Drew's
completion,
basically full clear fire.
Yeah, Cariosa, Drew, Alfalfa. First to find Hookshot was Cariosa. First to get ZL was Cariosa. Out of Forest dip Alfalfa, Cariosa, Gordine, Drew. So it's kind of seeing that kind of order for like the last 20 minutes.
What order everyone got everything in?
There's a bow in Child Goron City as well.
Ooh,
Karaoke's getting that first.
that's
So that'll
nice.
be a pretty big deal here. Hour
Yeah,
and 9 minutes in.
that's really useful because with that bow you can basically start clearing pretty much everything.
Yeah, I'd kind of expect just hand in letter, set Forest and Jabu, go adult.
Fountain Fairy.
You just get that as adult. You just don't even
Yeah.
bother right now. Clear Forest, and then you're in Kakuri Forest, so you just go ice from there.
We do need to clear fire.
You have Bolero, you can just do that whenever. And you
I
still
mean,
need Pierre anyway.
yeah, you need Pierre, but fire is a medallion. You do have to do it at some point.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, oh sorry, I see what you mean. The bow isn't actually need to clear fire. Yes, sorry, caught onto that just before you typed it. Sorry about that. Alfalfa, now in fire.
In the order of
Goldine again
stuff, I
doing
just wrote it down.
Goldine again doing checks that haven't been looked at. That's either the ice arrows or a bloopy. Oh, I like this. Pity it doesn't work in Valley. Strength 2 can still be a potential troll item. The Valley hint was a repeat of the Skull Mask being a blue pea hint, so nothing important. Nice timing on downplay digging. And getting another Deku Shield. We're missing hovers as well. Hovers can still be a troll item, but I think that's going to be one of our Way of the Heroes. Bo was in Child Goron City. I believe it was on the spinning pot.
Yep. Just chilling.
Yep, just chilling. So yeah, we're missing hovers. Fire is Scarecrow locked. We need Scarecrow's song to get the boss key on Pierre. I don't think it's hovers locked. We don't technically need hovers because Shadow is a stone. On the other hand, Shadow is a stone. Do you in fact trust Shadow not to be a troll? Because I don't trust Shadow not to be a troll. Also,
Totally.
I'm expecting logical all dungeons, even if not hard required all dungeons. Because we haven't had anything else that could act as Forest Temple access.
And it's all locations reachable with Ganon's dead. Like, it's just pretty likely, I think.
Yeah, as I said, I reckon that the hover boots are probably going to be one of our Way of the Heroes.
Ooh, it's a late letter for Gordon. Kind of hurts a little bit having done Domain already, but it's just gonna have to go straight back and go ice.
Oh, they didn't have the letter. I thought they already had it. I thought that was why they were going there, but that makes sense.
Unfortunately not. Curiosa doing the full dip into Jabu. I think it's a good idea in general. I see a lot of people just not dip Jabu, even though if it's progression, it doesn't waste any time because you're gonna have to do this anyway. So
And also, you can just leave Feroz Wind here.
even if you didn't have it, you still go in here.
I believe the people who got Zelda's Lullaby already left their Feroz Wind in GTG rather than Spirit. And we're seeing Bonchu Bowling. Last chance to see if there's any extra things in Market Way of the Hero. Though I guess there's still Pose as well. We do now have that bow. Yeah, no, I don't think we care about that, Miss Bomb Lady, sorry. Also, kudos to Cariosa for casting Feroz Wind halfway through pushing down a button. That was kind of impressive timing, just halfway pushed down. And making short work of the stingers. Ooh, lens game, yes. Yes, we've not seen lens game. We can do that. I don't know why Gordine didn't do that. Oh, they've not got lens from Gerudo Training Grounds yet. That would be why. Wait, where did Cariosa get Requiem of Spirit?
Must have been the Sun's Grave.
Must have been. Yep, Composer Grave, that makes sense. I was busy watching Bonbocci Bowling. I am doing that constantly this seed, missing important things because I was watching a different stream.
Seeing pretty divergent routes overall, so that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dip into Child Spirit here, definitely a good play coming in from Curiosa. It's progression. Very likely you need to come here anyway for one of the first two checks. I think just as a really safe play, you just do this every time. Just the first two. Then you can come back as dope. But if you don't have strength, second strength, then you just do the full child dip.
Because having strength 2 in here is hilarious.
So like as good as like rushing ice right now would be, you still want to do this before you go back adult, just in the same segment, so you don't have to essentially come back here later. But you could also make the play of just not committing to Child Spirit and then just coming back later. Hopefully you don't have to do Child Spirit at all. But it's definitely risky.
Yeah, again, I guess it depends on the kind of general strategy you're going for. Because if you can find strength 2 elsewhere and avoid Child Spirit entirely, that is optimal. And some people will absolutely put things off until they can do things the optimal way.
Mm-hmm.
Which would be successful here. Unless, of course, there's something in Child Climb.
Some confirmation there from Alfalfa. The map chest is definitely dead and fire. Drew gonna go get that CL.
Pierre locked. We're Pierre locked.
So based on how the seed's been playing out, I definitely think just rushing Requiem for the ZL check, I think that might have been the strat for the seed.
Yeah. Oh. And Goro remembering that they're going to have to come up here for Ice Cavern at some point. Well, for Zora's Fountain at some point. So may as well plant the bean to make it a quicker journey when you're an adult.
Pretty interesting the top two runners don't have any bomb bag and the bottom two do. Really shows you just the so some runners really hate domain.
Oh
Just
no,
has an
Drew!
area.
No, wait, Drew doesn't have a fire source. They are just coming here for
She's-
the skull. On the
Yep.
way. Yeah, okay.
It's fast enough. Like
It's
in
just like,
terms of like where he could go and what warps he has, like it's definitely worth getting that right now.
I'm sorry, I'm just being amused by Toxic in chat going, do they have no prelude or serenade? No. Ugh, this is the worst.
It's definitely going to be a pretty like if you maximize min-max your overworld movement, it's really going to show on seeds like this where you have kind of bad options as far as warps go. No real good way to switch between the ages, so you kind of see longish kind of age sections. So I think each runner has only gone max Temple of Time twice. Yeah, Cariosa, this is second time. It could be the third time actually right now.
Yeah. I admit I'm bad at keeping track of that kind of thing.
It definitely adds up. Drew getting the ZL for sure. So the third on restream to get that. Gordian's going to be falling a little bit behind here. The longer
so
that they
what
put on
was the
ZL.
route that the seed was expecting you to take?
Well, it needs you to find the scale from DC to go domain is the biggest thing, so you can get bomb bag.
Yeah.
Then once you have bomb bag, then everything's in logic. And without Serenade, that's can be really difficult to commit to something like that for like 2 item checks only, where you have maybe DC completely open, you have Bomb of the Well as an option. There's a lot to choose from kind of early on in a seed like this, so it can be kind of difficult to determine exactly which direction to go in. But they got the ZL hint, 10 minutes in or something, so.
Oh yeah, like this has actually been really nice with its hints.
Hmm.
Like you've
More or
avoided
less, yeah.
some of the common but frustrating stuff. I mean, sure, your foolish hints are pretty much useless, but
Let's get some hype going for Cariosa here. He's just rushing Ice Cavern.
really? With Mido skip?
Oh, I guess he's.
No,
Okay.
he ain't. They ain't.
He's going.
He
He's going
ain't
for it.
rushing
Going
Ice Cavern.
Forest.
He's
All
rushing
right, going
Forest.
Forest. Going Forest. Might just be doing the thing that I said originally. It's pretty much just been following that, so. It goes to Ice Cavern after Forest, the prophecy will be complete.
It's almost like there's a kind of established thing of check density, which is only going to get stronger in some ways, but we will see. Oh, Guardian's going for maybe doing pose, or are they just heading across the desert?
Oh, Gorgie knows the L is across at Requiem, so it's gonna travel there regardless. But Drew
Stopping
is
by
just kind of
Pit-Tight
cleaning up.
Grotto makes sense. You've got irons.
Yeah, that's why the hero too.
Oh, it was ice arrows behind the waterfall.
Nice.
Oh, yes, of course. Okay. Guardian's Tracker is in that kind of state where it almost looks like the icons are filled in even though they're not. It's quite like the hook shot is there and the boat isn't, but they both look kind of faded, so it's a bit hard to tell. To clarify, I'm looking at the Runner's Tracker on their own personal streams.
Yeah, Drew also doesn't have bow, but it comes down to the child segment. They just didn't stay child for long enough. And they didn't get the bomb bag either until pretty late, for Gordian at least, and Drew doesn't even have it yet. Same thing
They
for
are,
Alfalfa.
however...
Oh!
Oh!
Nice hovers.
Okay.
It's out of logic until they
Yeah,
find the second
that's
scale,
out of
but
logic. So, once we see the second scale, we know we have to worry about hovers. That was not where I expected hovers to be. Gold scale at the bottom of the fountain? In icy waters?
Drew just going straight to Water Temple. Kind of same with Gordian. Although, not having ZL, I don't think Gordian will go in there, but they might. They might be kind of just in that kind of mode of
Drew
doing
is
that.
dipping water.
Yeah. He has all the tools. It's outside of bow. So unless you think you missed bow somewhere, I think it's reasonable.
Yeah. Adult swimming, also nothing.
The only big issue is you don't have Requiem yet, so you have no idea what you do with your furores. Do you leave it in here and not put it in GTG? You might have to go back to GTG at that point. Gets kind of difficult if you go to water this early, but it's not without the risk. But that's why you kind of come here early rather than later. If you know it's Way of the Hero and it's Water Temple, I mean, come on. Like it's really bad as an area. So you know a lot of people are gonna not put it, do it until later. So it really comes down to how difficult you think the bow might be to get. Looks like Alfalfa also doesn't have bow. He's going towards Goron City. We'll see if it goes towards the pottery track that has the bow.
They did just change to child, and given they've equipped Ruto's letter, I suspect they're handing that in.
Yeah. Could still
So
go to
this
Goron
might
City
be
along the
a...
way.
Yeah,
But
it could be a going to Goron City before going to Domain. It could be going to Domain, then Jabu.
I think they're probably more likely to just turn in letter and then couldn't even go back adult at that point. You just use scale to go to the owl without serenade and go back adult. But
Yeah, hopefully they stop by long enough to get their bomb bag as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, hovers on Lab Dive is interesting because we don't want to have to go to Shadow, but also, as awful people that chat tend to be, we do kind of want them to go to Shadow. Hi, B. Luigi.
B with the hot take that this is a bad seed. I don't disagree.
It's just kind of a bit quiet and meh. Like, it's not actively bad. It's giving you enough information that it is not actively bad. It's just making you run around a lot.
OGC Ganon's Haunted Wasteland Barons, not actively bad. I don't know. I don't know if I buy that, but it's also like all of these item placements are being pretty. They're not great locations overall, especially in the meta. So like going Child Goron City for your first bow, going Child Domain for your first bomb bag. It's just stuff that a lot of people put off in general.
Yes, it's almost like the meta does not solve all of your problems. The meta is not the answer to everything. That's why we play rando, so that there isn't a strict path to victory.
That may be true, but if you play 1,000 seeds, the meta will usually be right. That's why people do it, right? So
no, sometimes meta is just what's popular, whether or not it's actually fastest or correct.
really depends what it is.
Oh, strength 2 in forest. That looks like it was in the falling ceiling room. But yeah, I'm also an advocate of just follow what the seed is telling you. I don't particularly care too much for meta, you may have noticed.
It's an important part of racing. If you just ignore it completely, you're giving a lot of percentage points away. But it depends entirely on who you're playing. So, in large races like this, you have to be really sure. Otherwise, don't really use that kind of info. But I mean, just simple stuff like if no one's done by the 3-hour mark, okay, it might be all dungeons, might be Water Temple has an item, it might be, you know, kind of
Well, we know Water
unlikelier
Temple has an
checks.
item, it's Way of the Hero.
Well,
I
sure. I just
just
mean
look at the seed.
I just mean in general.
Yeah.
So I mean that kind of info is definitely useful, and it's pretty objective too. It's not even like, do I do this check or skip it? It's not necessarily that. And in a 1v1 scenario, it becomes very, very important depending on like what your opponent does. So there's a time and place for all of that.
You just have to base it on what your specific seed is.
Yeah, but I mean, if you know what your opponent's going to do in general,
Oh yeah, that
you know
yes.
exactly if you're going to be ahead or behind in most scenarios. So
Playing mind games with your opponents and working out where they're likely to go is part of racing. It's why I've actually been quite enjoying watching the Hollow Knight lockout tournament races, because there's a lot of mind games with looking at the goals on the board and which ones you go for, which ones you leave, tactically trading goals. But yeah, I'm a bit skeptical of meta because I've seen it change for no apparent reason that I can tell before. So, shrug. Each of the different routes has its good points and bad points. It just depends what you're prioritizing. Yeah, absolutely, Neradar. We are in a very privileged position to see what everything is and where everything is.
yeah, being in the race is totally different from watching it.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely a skill to develop is knowing when you're making a mistake, and the earlier you catch that, the better you can generally do on average. It really depends on the example for sure.
I mean, yes, you learn things every time you play, you practice, you get better at things. Unfortunately, I know for me that pretty much the mistake is everything related to execution. So, can I do V1 skip? Can I? Heck. I know my flaws. My flaws are bloody everywhere. But hey, at least logic I'm fairly decent at. Cariosa fighting my least favourite boss in the game. People have heard my feelings on Phantom Ganon before. They may find it amusing just how much I hate this fucker.
Well, if you miss hitting him here and you get into the tennis match, it sucks pretty much always, but as long as you can just hit the the
No,
energy
what
ball
happens
back
to me
out.
is pretty much what's happening to Cariosa keeping getting fried right now.
Yeah, it's the
Admittedly, I did
timing
find at
thing.
one point that I was having input delay on my controller, which was why it was screwing me over quite so much.
Definitely a good thing to know about.
Thank you, Phantom Ganon. Goodbye.
Ooh. So Drew's gonna go all the way down here and then realize he needs bow. If he hasn't already.
Yep.
I guess we'll oh, there's the skull too, yeah, but might have just been coming down here only for the skull. Okay, maybe not. That looked
There
like
we
a
go.
realization.
Yeah, there does seem to be a fair bit of lag around at the moment. Yeah, looks like it could be River Chest. It might just be the bow-locked chest in the main room. As it is, Drew is heading back into fire. Did they set up their PS? They must have done. They went to Water Temple. Cariosa is making a play for Ice Cavern. We finally get to see what's in the fountain. And then we'll find it's been on the Fountain Ferry the entire time and they didn't need to walk up here. Lesser was in Boulder of Destiny, Luigi. Oh, Fountain Fairy only had a nut. Okay. Pardon me.
Alright, now Kyrios is going Ice Cavern. 100%. Guaranteed.
I did already say they were going Ice Cavern.
Yeah.
Come on. What's on the iceberg? What's under the water? What's under the water?
Oh, strength.
That's strength. Wait, no, that's true. The forest temple's strength wasn't in logic. Because logically we still have no way into Forest Temple. It's strength. Did anyone see what was at the bottom of Icy Waters?
Just a bloopy or a piece of heart, I think.
Yep, that strength is Way of the Hero, I reckon. Because we can't... Yeah, Sarius is behind Spirit Temple. It must be. Sarius must be behind Spirit Temple because there's no other way that that strength would be Way of the Hero. Yep. So, that logic. Toxic, did you want to handle this, or should I try explaining that? I'm not as good at logic as you are. Yeah. So, Fountain Way of the Hero being Strength 2 means that all ways to access the Forest Temple, and thus the strength in the Forest Temple, are locked behind Spirit Temple itself. Given that Spirit Temple is one of our medallions? Yes. Because our stones are Dodongo's Cavern, Water Temple, and Shadow. we don't know what the water way of the hero is. But we know that Minuet is locked behind all dungeons. So I guess it might not be. Yeah, this is confusing. Because what? Because in order for that strength to be way of the hero, which it has to be, because there's nothing else there, that means that we need to use strength 2 to get Forest Temple access. So we need strength 2 to get Saria's song, which could just be the Spirit Medallion, because Spirit is Forest Temple. Or we need strength 2 to complete all dungeons. Honestly, Emo Soda is probably just not talking because I'm rambling so much. Sorry about that.
Yeah, this just in. Not talking over commentators. Bad commentary. Got it.
No, I like not being talked over. It makes such a fucking change to normal. Thanks, Neradar. Ooh, Boomerang and Shadow. That would be a thing. That would be a thing.
I think Drew's water tip was actually pretty good. You know, having to set up here, he already went fire earlier, so I knew you needed to set that up.
Yeah.
So at that point, it's just proximity based, right? You just go into water, it's way of the hero. You could find something, you might not, and that was the case this time. But
yeah, but the thing
that.
is, no matter what, you get information. Like, you're there anyway. You know that water is way of the hero. You may as well dip it to see if you get something early. You might not, you might. It's absolutely worth a risk if you're that close to it, especially without Serenade or Prelude. I mean, sure, you have opponents, but you're not going to walk to Hylia more often than you have to. And given that Water Temple is a stone, it's very likely that you would be able to go in, get the thing, and then never go back there.
Yeah. In a
Unfortunately,
perfect world,
why would the
yeah.
seed be that kind?
Hey, thankfully Drew didn't get bow locked out.
Yeah.
Fire. It definitely could have happened, but I mean, he did the dip so early. It was like an hour ago that he dipped fire, I want to say.
Yeah, it's really nice when you actually basically get told that you need to go and do Pierre. Also, Big Poe on Volvagia.
It's interesting. With Market way of the hero, I mean.
Yeah, Market is way of the hero.
Drew might turn that in.
Was it Drew that got the lens, or was it just Alfalfa and Cariosa? Carrie did not grab the strength on ice because they got strength on falling ceiling and Forest Temple out of logic. And yet, every single strength 3 check, it did.
Yeah, not interested in the swag color. Cariosa out for blood. Definitely one of the top runners right now, just overall in racing for Rando, so not surprised in the least.
Yep. But yeah, Market Wave, the hero, it's so easy to forget that Big Pose can be included in that. But hey, at least Volvagia is being nice and making that check a bit quicker for you rather than having to shoot those bleeping bleep bleep bleeps.
I mean, Carius is almost in go mode here. Really just has to dip water and hopefully you find Boomerang there. And then at that point,
everyone's kind of almost been in go mode for ages.
Yeah, it definitely has the medallion advantage though. It's going to be his 4th medallion here, whereas Drew's the only person close with 3 having done fire already.
Yeah,
would be
yeah.
to do forest to kind of close the gap, and forest is long. So we'll see exactly how big of a time difference there is. I'd imagine something like 10-ish minutes, but depending on when they get this bow at Child Goron City of all places.
I
It's,
mean, there must be other bows, but it's possible that just all the bows are bow locks. You will go and do your Goron City, damn it.
definitely possible.
Density is not everything.
I know they're somewhere in Hyrule. They're not in Ganon, they're not in OGC. Like, it's somewhere here, but yeah, it could just be in like Deep Shadow, Deep Spirit, or something, and they're both bow locked. Or what have you. I mean, checking 10-20 per Drew. Unfortunately, they are both dead. Goradine also checked those earlier in the seed.
Yep, they did. A nice thing to know that you don't have to worry about skulls whatsoever.
Yeah, just putting it out of
What
existence
is that in there?
What was what?
It's enough that Goradine wants it.
You're forgetting what settings it's playing on. Just kidding, just kidding. Hopefully going to Ganon's castle there, but little early on that one.
I mean, also, there wouldn't really be any point going in there for items with this seed.
Oh yeah. Handing in this big Poe.
Yep.
And
they know that Bombchu Bowling is nothing, because Bombchu Bowling is nothing this seed.
Just
there
some
is
nice
still
Deku
treasure
seeds.
chest game. Oh, Goradine getting that lovely glitchless jump in the ice cavern slidey block puzzle room. You love to see the glitchless jumps. They're just so nice.
If you get them first try, they're just
no, they did not get it first try. They didn't get it
Oh.
anywhere near first try, but it was still nice to see them get it.
Still swag. Yeah, it looks like Drew. I think Drew is probably just rushing TCG now.
Yep, makes sense. And that's going to get them the stuff that they need.
We'll be in the child section now, so it has a lot of options here. Could be going bottom of the wall too. They're just gonna. Okay. So they set time of day by going OGC, I guess, instead of suns, but.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's so you don't have to warp and then play suns and then go to Temple of Time without Serenade or Prelude. It's pretty hard, so that's actually a pretty heads up play. If you're planning to come here anyway to get Tempe.
And we are expecting Serenade or Prelude very shortly, because we think that one of them must be an ice cavern. And Alfalfa is going to be going into Water Temple. But they don't have the bow either!
It's Prelude.
And getting the Composer Grave chest here.
Alfalfa in Water Temple now too. Also does not have that bow, so we won't be seeing any new checks out of water from Alfalfa, unfortunately. But making this dip for a lot of the same reasons knows that Pierre is locking fire, at least for the BK.
Redid what? Photobomb? I do like the photobomb moments. I mean, I think my favourite photobomb is actually the potential for the one in the Spirit Temple in the Gilded Chest Room. Just the probability that you go in, you get the chest out of the thing, you pull out your ocarina, and then suddenly there's a torch slug in shot.
Oh,
Just
sure.
like, hi. I wanted screen time.
It's one of my favorite enemies to kill in the game.
They are quite
Pretty
satisfying.
Yeah.
But I just like the amusing photobombs. I wonder if there's someone who deliberately goes out to get the silliest photobombs they can.
Ooh, Glitchy getting wrecked in chat.
Oh, B Luigi preventing the doggo pyramid.
Does it still count? I'm not sure.
I mean, who can say that those lovely doggo faces don't count? Also, be right back. I need a drink. My throat is getting a bit dry from talking so much.
It's all good. So Drew's looking for this bow still. He's getting warmer, and now he's getting a little bit colder. Heading towards river. Looks like he hasn't cleared out the river check, so just going to do that real quick. Carrio's getting very close to the realization that he needs Pierre. I think we'll just see Carrio's go straight spirit has... Oh. Or not. Okay, so I'm going to set Pierre, or Forsman, I mean. Do more progression for Carriosa, getting ahead on medallions here, at least on the restream. Gordon also going to do the water dip, although, yeah, here's the problem. Gordon also doesn't have bow. So it's really coming down to this bow and Child Goron City. It's, and all you had to do was go Lakest Child, set up Pierre, use your scale, go into domain, get your bomb bag.
Right, and now hopefully my voice will sound a lot less scratchy.
Oh, welcome back.
Anything happen while I was away? Did we find anything interesting? Wait, Drunus only just got to river to get their light arrows?
Yeah, it just never went to river, so just clearing out that now. Curios is going to Spirit Temple. Went all the way up fire, realized his Pierre locked. Come here first before you go to lake. So you just get progression out of the way. You could find an item in here.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, Curiosa does not have light arrows yet.
But they are in Spirit Temple, and we're fairly sure this is where the seed has been trying to point you.
Mm-hmm. Unless it's for the boomerang and water, for all you boomerang lovers out there.
Oh, have we found? No, we haven't found the rang, have
we? No. Yeah, everyone's dipping water without bow, and I think whatever is there is probably
it has to be.
bow
We've
locked.
seen everything else.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful getting rid of the spike from there, Gorodine. Just 2 quick spin slashes, done. The boomerang is a trolley item. We know that the boomerang is a trolley item. It enjoys our suffering. Ah, that's where Greg was.
Yeah, it's a good thing about boomerangs. It hits twice.
I'm just going to look at you for that one. But nicely done.
Thanks. Yeah, that's a good thing about boomerangs. It hits twice.
Well, unfortunately, Roadcopter, you had to hear it twice because that was the entire joke.
I had to do it. You can't.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can't just expect me not to do it. That's crazy talk.
I mean, you've seen me making puns all this seed. I think we did see Central Pillar, and I don't think it was anything. Either that or we haven't seen Central Pillar yet.
Yeah, I think we might have also seen them skip it. I mean, I don't remember seeing it, but Water Temple's kind of a blur sometimes. A lot of people just kind of stick to the same routes in water. And
Like, we really
it's
ought to be paying attention to it given its way of the hero.
yeah. I think for Water Temple specifically, it's defensible to take the same route pretty much every time, regardless. It just doesn't really pay off to do anything differently, at least from my experiences. My biggest thing is I always just do compass chest first. But outside of that, Central Pillar is one of the last ones you do for sure.
Gold
Think
Scale.
ooh,
Gold Scale was in Child Climb, so we could have got that ages ago and been in Logic getting those hover boots ages ago.
well, you still would have had to cross Wasteland though to get ZL to even open up Rec to get that though, right?
I mean,
So it doesn't.
yeah, but
Yeah, I mean, you could have.
pardon me.
I don't know if ages ago, but you could have gotten that a little bit earlier for sure. It really depends because I think going up Child Climb, if you already have Strength 2, it's just
Oh, Child was key locked, so yes, Gold Scale was Strength 2 locked, and that is why Minuet is Strength locked. Very nicely done. So that's actually the last piece in the logic. So the reason why that Strength 2 in the fountain, for those who didn't quite follow it, the reason why Strength 2 in Zora's fountain on the iceberg was Way of the Hero is for Forest Temple access, which had Strength 3. Basically, why is Din's Fire in the Water Temple?
I guess maybe they did skip Central Pillar.
Oh no.
That's pretty sick. And with hovers on Lab Dive with scale 2 from Spirit. It's getting a little spooky. It's already November, but spooks continue throughout the month. And Randoland.
Oh dear. Okay, right.
Yeah, everyone get their second belt out and buckle that.
So yes, it could just be for logical dungeons. It could just be for logical or dungeons. So yes, the reason why that Strength 2 was Way of the Hero is for Forest Temple access. In order to get Sarius, we think you must need to beat the Spirit Temple, which needs you to have Strength 2. In order to get Minuet, you needed to get the Golden Scale in Spirit Temple to get your hover boots to do Shadow. So either way you look at it, you needed to have Strength 2 to get to the Forest Temple for that last strength. So it was Way of the Hero. Yep. Second magic in the Mirror Shield chest, which was again locked by Strength 2. So that means that the Deku magic had to be Way of the Hero. We're blaming you because you rolled it, Doodle.
I'd rather just blame S3 settings. I don't know. It's me and S3 settings. We have a complicated relationship. It's a lot of history.
Yeah, I don't seem to hate them quite as much as you do.
It's not necessarily hate, but just I don't know. you do the same opener every time. The first like 30 or 40 minutes are just such a drag that there's fire arrows too. So maybe Dens is definitely pointing to Shadow for something. Or
Pretty
I mean,
defense.
you can already get fire arrows from market. Like I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Or there's just another item in water.
I mean, could
It's
be.
bow locked or something
It
like.
it could just be logical or dungeons.
Yeah.
Okay, what would it need to be logical or dungeons? Purple, why don't we have logical access to that Dins? We found a Zora tunic on top of Dodongo's cavern. Just blatantly out in the open. We have central pillar access and less keys. Yeah, no, the Zora tunic was really, really easy to get and in logic.
No other bows yet still found. Gordine's just heading straight into Shadow here. It's pretty interesting.
Yep, tunics like being high this seed. One of them was on top of Dodongo's cavern, one of them is on the graveyard ledge. We've seen both tunics.
Yeah, I know that's Zephyr's favorite talking point for sure.
I mean, I'll be honest, I was expecting... Okay, so the way that Toxic set that up, I was expecting it to be, Zeph, what's your thoughts about Iron's Way of the Hero and Dint in Central Pillar? Zeph. Hi,
Yeah.
Scrubs.
Scrubs. Welcome.
Hello, Raiders.
Everyone.
Welcome.
Yeah, third of you in here.
This is a seed that's going backwards and forwards a lot. Like, this seed wants you to get your steps in. It wants you to do the legwork. And boy, are people doing the legwork.
Oh, we going places.
Well, we're going backwards and forwards. I'm not sure we're going places. But we do have Cariosa facing Twin Rover, which will confirm whether our Saria's is on the Forest Medallion or whether it's on Burning Kakariko. Chickens was nothing. It was hinted dead. Sorry, Kariokami. Sorry. No, instead we have had a lot of wandering around because we were told, oh hey, Zora's Fountain is Way of the Hero. Also, Mark is his Way of the Hero, and that's where you found your iron boots. And so we're going, okay, so there's something in Zora's Fountain on icy waters, maybe. And then we went to Zora's Fountain and we found a strength. It turns out that that strength is Way of the Hero for Forest Temple access. One way or another, you needed that strength for Forest Temple access. That's where the third strength is. All of our strength 3 checks are dead. So yeah, how would you summarize this seed? Apart from a lot of going backward and forward.
It's just this bow in Goron City. There's no other bow available whatsoever. So you have to go get that one. As far as we can tell so far. I don't know exactly how many bows Cariosa's gotten. If it's only been the one.
I think it's only been the one.
Yeah, it's really just coming down to that now because Drew would have been pretty much with Cariosa here. And maybe even in like Gorodine's position, but he still doesn't even have bow then too, so it's really just that's been dragging them behind. And they've checked most locations on the map and especially in most overworld locations now. Checked 1020, checked a bunch of market stuff that could have been We Are the Hero, a bunch of like kind of one-off checks here and there. Bomb the Well has been checked by at least 2 runners.
But before they had Zelda's Lullaby, they haven't done a Zelda's Lullaby checks in Bottom of the Well.
It is true.
And also, I think that Central Pillar, which did have Din's Fire, got skipped by at least 1 runner. So possibly actually not having the bow should have forced them into doing Central Pillar, but they somehow didn't go.
I think it was just water level management. They might have just not gotten it quite right. And I think water temple routing, it definitely comes to that.
There's our Sarius on Burning Kakariko.
Nice. Nice song, Kak.
No, not logical or dungeons. It was a medallion. It's not. I don't think it's all dungeons. Because, as has been proven, you. Really? Yes, Sarius is behind forest completion. You're correct. So, yeah, logical or dungeons. Yes, I completely forgot that Forest Temple was a fire medallion because Cariosa got it so long ago.
Yep, and Carios is just gonna go set up here for fire. Ooh, and gaining Serenade, so doesn't even have to travel the lake. Can just go right to pier, set that up, go back adult, could set it up, go clear fire, and then Cariosa has a real choice on his hands. I would imagine probably just goes to water, especially with that Serenade. Could even like go there when he sets up Pierre or before he set up Pierre, seeing if that has an item besides Din's. So the world's just completely open for Karios, and it's opening up for everyone else too. But it really is coming down to this bow more than anything else.
Yeah.
So I want to say for a good part of the season, I want to say it's been around the 2.5 hour mark that most people even go to Child Corn City. So really, like, if you can route that in early with like early explosives with Lost Woods, it's really good to do that.
But we didn't have early. We only had choose early. We didn't actually
Right.
have early explosives, which is why everyone put it off.
Exactly, right.
So, for reference, people who have raided and haven't been here the whole stream, our first bomb bag was in Zora's Domain in the Torch Run chest. In order to get to Zora's Domain, you had to get the scale in Stone Dodongo's cavern. It was, however, fairly easy to get that scale. It's just, it took people a while to get it and then even longer to follow it.
Cariosa might full clear Shadow. I mean, it's going to get hovers right here, set up here, go water potentially, find dens. Like, you're really not supposed to go to Shadow.
Yeah, I think they're working through because with that Sarias on Burning Kakariko, they can probably work out its logical or dungeons unless they do the complete idiot move that I did and forgot that the Forest Temple was a fire medallion.
Mm-hmm. Right, like even if you know that though, like you still have to go find wherever this boomerang is.
And Shadow is about as good as anywhere else, I guess. That said, now that Cariosa has hover boots, they might go and do fire.
Yeah, I think it's their best play right now. It's just to full clear Shadow. I mean, it's either that or you do the overworld that you missed, or there's really not a whole lot left.
Yep.
They could full clear GTG if they haven't done that. But going back there is a little painful. Depends on if you had your Fours win set there. I'm pretty sure Cariosa reset theirs in fire, so
Also, I note that Alfalfa is in bottom of the well heading towards Dead Hand. Have we seen that before?
I don't think so.
Also, is it me or did Cariosa just bail out of Shadow? Because someone went into Shadow and then they've now bailed. Who
That
was it?
was Goradine. Goradine found Dens and water, went straight there, did the first two, and then left.
Okay, it was Goradine. Okay, Tanarin, we have a Dins in water. We don't know what the Bolot checks in water are, though. We could still be saved, but also we have a logical all dungeons.
The Goradine Bale was definitely interesting. I think because they were so far behind on progression, they're probably just going to go back there later.
Yeah,
Just get
and
progression out of
Spirit
the
is
way.
a good place for them to go.
Mm-hmm.
Alfalfa is not having a nice time with Dead Hand, who is now dead, just like they should be. Go away, you creepy, creepy thing. We are hunting. Oh look, it's a bomb bag in bottom of the well. The one
Sick.
yeah.
Sick. CL lock too, so it's like super useless.
Yep. On the other hand, you now have more bombs. We do not know where the boomerang is. We are looking for it. If we're lucky, it's in water.
Let me just go see if there are any ripe boomerangs around my boomerang tree here. No, can't pick them for at least 30 minutes.
Do we want to open a bet for where the boomerang is? Or do we want to leave it until after water has been cleared?
I think waiting after water might be a good idea, but like...
Yeah, water is at least hinted way of the hero, so you stand half a chance of finding it in a way of the hero area.
True.
Yeah, I kind of want to wait until after water, because also it isn't necessarily just in shadow. It could, for example... Oh, look.
Oh.
It's in the well.
Sick item. Sick item.
I was saying the well was not bait.
Well, I guess we got our answer. I mean, could do like a
No one's gonna find that for ages.
Yeah.
No one's finding that.
And now we're just in no mode here. Man, that's really good reason not to go. Really good reason not to go bomb the well too early is exactly that. Because now you could get totally baited by Shadow, just full clear that. You can...
So that rang.
Yeah. He still doesn't have bow. He still needs bow though. Like he's not even like... He's not out of it. He's not out of it at all. I mean, Curious is so far ahead on progression that... Yeah, Well's a lot faster than Shadow. So, I mean, if you haven't been there at all, it's definitely better. If you've already been to Bomb of the Well, not sure. Not sure on that.
Okay, so I would say people are less likely to do well in this particular setup because only people who've done all of Ice Cavern have access to Prelude. Changing ages takes forever in this seed. And yep, all of the keys were Zelda's Lullaby locked. And yeah, I have a horrible suspicion people aren't coming back here for a while because it's such a long run. If you're adult already and you have everything to do Shadow, they are way more likely to get baited into Shadow, I think. Even if it is longer and in some ways less good than the well.
Stin's in water too, just being way the hero. I mean, you have to assume it's logical AD for sure, but I mean, what are the chances that it just locks your boomerang, right?
Yeah, we know how Shadow likes having things, but this time, nope.
It's definitely the safe play to go to Shadow. I mean, it really depends on if you've done Bomb the Wall at all yet, and what age you are when you decide to actually go back there, and at what
Oh, yeah.
point, how much progression you have done. If you have this stupid bow, like if you don't have bow, then I think going Bomb the Wall is way better, because if you think you missed it, that's like one of the top places to check.
Yeah, I'm surprised that there wasn't a duplicate bow in Well. There's probably some in Shadow, so that might actually bail people out.
Hmm.
Like, if people go to Shadow before they go to Goron City, that might actually really help them if there's a bow in there.
Yeah, sometimes the items are just in dumb places. It's just
Yeah,
you,
this seed is an excellent example of why the meta isn't always right.
it's not necessarily that. It's just sometimes the best play doesn't work out every time. It's definitely true in Randomizer and in life, so don't get upset necessarily if it doesn't work out every time. That's why you make the best play or try to make the best play every time.
That's why we do Rando, because it can't just be reduced down to a solved problem. It's new every time, and that's why we like it. Okay, so where is everybody going? Cariosa is going to get some bad news in a moment.
I mean, number one thing to do in a seed every time, always, 100%, always push progression. So, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
pushing progression and Way of the Hero. Way of the Hero is usually good ideas, good info that you get from that. And this kind of a seed can definitely be complete bait and not useful whatsoever. I mean, is it like a tertiary strength almost? In Fountain, you don't need the stins at all. You just go back Bomb the Well, I guess. Shrug. But
Actually, I'd argue that the Zora's Fountain where the hero was useful for telling you it was logical all dungeons.
I guess so. I mean, with Minuet on OOT, I'm always just kind of skeptical of that in general. It always depends on where Sari's is itself more than anything. So knowing it's on Burning Cack and knowing that's locked behind Spirit Forest and Deku, that's the big info really.
Yeah.
And no Cack Way the hero whatsoever. It did not really help a ton at all as far as like openers and mid games. Because it really just kind of pushed you towards these really long age segments, and if you don't have exactly the right items, so you don't like the ZL when you go Bomb the Well, you don't go Goron City early, you're just kind of floating around doing everything. So it's kind of like a full clear seed almost. I think for a lot of runners in the race, it's going to be.
Yep. Sometimes seeds like this happen. And in some ways I kind of okay. Doodle, we think it might be Dins. Because we think we have Way of the Hero, Dins from the Water Temple for doing Shadow, for Logical, all dungeons, for Minuet, for Forest Temple access. Basically, it's all Forest's fault.
Yeah, all my homies hate Forest. It's just like a. I mean, it's fine that it's a boring dungeon. I don't care that it's boring. I care more that it's just a very long dungeon. It's 15, 16 minutes. I don't know. You're doing the same things every time pretty much. You can't skip a lot of it. And you need, at the very minimum, 3 items for sure.
Yeah, I mean, there is an argument that doing forest is actually okay. So you can use time doing forest in order to work out where you're going next. Like you have, if it's a medallion, you have to do it at some point. You might find something useful on the way, but it gives you time to work out what you're doing afterwards. It gives you time to work out the logic. It's a bit of a breather. I mean, sure, it's boring, but that just means you can think about other stuff. I sure as hell know that's how I got through some of my jobs at work. I mean,
I think Alfalfa's going towards, as long as they don't go towards lake. Oh, they might be going towards lake. Okay. Never mind.
Scarecrow song, yeah.
I was about to say they're getting warmer. They're heading towards Goron City, but took a wrong left turn. They'll be back. And Drew's in the right age now, again. I'm gonna check the Castle Fairy Fountain. You might be setting up a save quit here to go to Lost Woods Goron City.
They do look like they're doing the random one-off checks. For example, they're going to Din's Ferry.
Mm-hmm. Gordine's stuck in Fire Temple is gonna be full clearing this. Ooh.
Oh no, Gordine. And this is why I opened the shortcut early.
You hate to see it. Yeah, I mean, if you know you are likely to get hit down there, for sure, open up the shortcut first. Waste more time getting fallen there. Ooh. Yeah, I think. Ooh. Yeah, if Alfalfa got the extra note in, that's going to be really unfortunate.
Looks like Drew is heading bottom of the well. That will be really good for him. Cariosa is going to be bimbling around Shadow for a while. Hi.
Yeah, Carius is going to be in here for another 8 minutes or so. It's about the halfway point in Shadow.
See if anything else comes up in the middle of this. Well, Shadow might get him a bow. Oh no, Shadow did get him a bow. Or Cariosa is the one that's already had a bow.
Cariosa got the bow. He's the one that's had the bow the whole time. He went to Goron City at 1 hour and 9 minutes is when he got bow. So he's pretty far ahead. I mean, Drew's making a good effort at it. He's going to be finding this boomerang, most likely in Bomb the Well. He hasn't been here at all yet, so he's going to full clear it. 5 or 6 minutes.
It's interesting that between the bow and the rang, it's giving everyone a chance to catch up.
Yeah, it really is. You have to get both of these kind of awkwardly placed items, and they're deep in the challenge segment where you are kind of forced to do a long age segment each time because you don't have the Serenade Prelude early on. So it's really pushing people towards not checking both of these areas.
Yep, get your hiking boots on.
Mm-hmm. This is where like practicing execution can really come in handy. So like even if Cariosa full clear Shadow, he could still just be ahead even if he does that.
Yep, and that's one significant place less for him to look for rang.
Yeah, huge place too.
Oh look, bow! That might actually bail people out.
Yeah, it might bail people out.
I mean, I'm glad that we guessed that there was a second bow. It was me that called a second bow in Shadow.
It had to be, because otherwise, you know, Ganon's is dead, right?
Where could it be?
Like, where else could it be?
It could be bow locked in Ganon's castle.
I don't think bow could be there because it's foolish, though, right?
Yes, but with bows and bomb bags, you can have them if they are locked by the first one. So you can get bomb-locked bomb bags on Barren Death Mountain Trail, and you can get bows in bow-locked checks in barren areas. This is why I always blow up that wall halfway up Death Mountain Trail, even if I only have choose. Because the amount of times I've had a bomb-locked bomb bag in that bloody wall. But yeah, as long as a bow locks a bow, it can be in a barren location.
Yeah, it's the biggest thing. It's not always the case, so it's kind of hard to use that as a general rule, I think. But it's definitely,
Yeah.
you can still find bomb chews there for sure, though. Like, it's still a good
And
play.
also you can get things like if there is a bomb locked okay, so barren foolish Death Mountain Trail is an interesting one. Because if you do find a bow in that wall, then that means all of your bows are bomb locked. Which is hilarious fun.
Corradine getting towards the end of Fire Temple here. Cariosa making his way through Shadow, finding
Oh, big
Big
stabby.
Sword. Yeah.
We have all
Getting
of our
more
swords
skulls.
now.
Only 8 skulls for Cariosa. It might be spending some time getting those potentially coming up.
This is Kaio. This is Rainbow Bridge locked by 6 medallions. So you need to get the 6 medallions to get to the Rainbow Bridge to kill Ganon, and you need whatever enables you to get those 6 medallions. This may not be as simple as expected. Thank you for the subscription, Nightboyd. You now have a selection of our lovely, lovely emotes. We could still have a bow in Baron Castle, if it is bow locked.
Alfalfa getting those hovers on Lab Dive.
Are going to go to Shadow? No, because they don't have dins yet. They're warping away from Water Temple, which would give them their dins.
Yep, I think it's fine. I mean, he's just setting up Scarecrow for fire anyway, so you don't want to do Water Temple. Maybe it's a way to here that doesn't even have something if you're in Alfalfa's shoes.
Yeah,
You don't want to, because you already have so many items, right? Like, it's a little suspicious that you have
I'd be
that as a
hoping
way to
for
hero.
I'd be hoping for Rang. Speaking of which, there's Drew getting their Rang.
Yeah, Drew's got to be at least a little relieved, even though they don't have bow yet. 2 hours in, 2.5 hours in almost, no bow. He knows he needs it only for Forest too, and completing the game. So that's at least nice for Drew. Won't be doing pretty much anything bow locked outside of Forest, I don't think.
No, the reason I was saying that getting dins might be useful for Alfalfa is it would lead them to that bow in Shadow. It would mean they would never. It means they wouldn't have to go to Child Goron City, which might actually save them time in this particular instance.
Yeah, I think it's a good point. I mean, kind of depends on where your mindset is late in the game. I mean, this is a late game kind of scenario for the seed, so most runners probably going to be 2 meds off, maybe 1 med off.
Yeah, there was a bow and crusher room.
So these are like kind of where the decisions end up mattering. So I think kind of making the play back to fire, not water at all. I think that's a fine play.
That makes sense.
You want to get your progression out of the way.
Yeah. Like, none of these choices are bad choices.
It's just not a ton of things outside of like the time it takes, basically. So the shorter things right now are definitely winning the seed. If you just like categorize it to very fast and very slow checks, the fast checks are like leagues ahead of the slow checks right now. if that's what you're kind of prioritizing. So it's kind of also funny if you kind of view it from that angle.
Hey, look, I just got Serenade of Water from the Forest Medallion. That's helpful. That
Yeah.
means I can get to the Water Temple to get my dins for freaking Shadow.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
And
I
was
did
just,
notice the stylish spin attack while going up the elevator.
I think it was yesterday or the day before. I just did AD for no reason, just unnecessary AD. Gotta love it.
Hang on, where was third bow? I missed that.
And Shadow, I guess, right?
Oh, okay, sure.
It's the only location that we haven't seen.
Yep, Shadow hoarding our bows. So yeah,
Wow.
actually getting dins to get them to go into Shadow, people might think that bow is actually the intended way of the hero.
It's pretty trolly for sure. Kyrios is just taking all the bows from all the other runners. It's a multi-world.
To make some kind of bow monster.
Yeah, imagine that in a multi-world scenario. Okay, oh, look, another bow, another bow. For me! None of you.
Average of 0.75 bows per runner.
Oh yeah, those are the stats I like seeing.
Yeah, first bow was on the Goron City spinning pot. I've just written down a note for the interview of bows not way of the hero in Shadow, but more useful than the actual reason. More useful than the logic. Stab, stab, stab the bongo in the eye. I mean, Doodle, they did in Link's Awakening actually give you a bow as part of a trade quest. Am I the only one that remembers the trade quest? I really liked that trade quest in Link's Awakening.
It's just really convoluted. Like, it's really, like, if you take it at face value, it's really difficult. Like, I forget the exact trade sequence. But
You
it's
start with
like
a
you get
Yoshi
a,
doll.
sure, but then, okay, you might get a few steps in, then it just gives you a can of dog food. I'm like, well,
You
huh.
clearly take to the crocodile.
Yeah, not the dog. Yeah, obviously, like, that's
Well,
what
the dog
gets me about
can't open it without a can opener, can they?
well, I guess not. Now, I guess they don't have hands, so they can't
I mean, the dogs
handle
are chain chomps in that world, though, so,
Yeah,
arguable.
I mean, sure. Alfalfa dispatching Flavaji here.
Yes. No, Real Tech Bandit, I'm talking about the fact that there was a bow as a trade quest item. It was a little ribbon bow rather than a shooty bow.
Oh, I was confused too. I was like,
Did
there's
you
no way you
not
get a bow in
realise
it.
I was punning?
Oh.
Of course I was
No,
punning.
I guess you got me. You got me.
Yay, my voice is soothing. Is that a good thing? I don't know if that's a good thing.
I mean, if it were later in the day, I'd be yelling, but it's 9:34 in the morning here for me, so I'm just people happy right now.
Yeah, being sleepy is entirely reasonable. But hey,
But-
I like being chill. I can be excited, but I do like being chill.
Yo, same.
Yeah, I was going to say that means you started coming like ridiculously early in the morning, didn't it?
Well,
Didn't
now
you?
it's later with daylight savings time, so thankfully I didn't have to observe that because we just don't do that here. But everyone else changed, so it's still 7 a.m. now instead of 6.
Oof. Oh,
So
hey,
I was
look, there's another
confused.
bomb
So
bag in GTG.
nice. So I forgot about DST. So I woke up at 5:30, and I was like, "Well, okay, ready for for comms at 6." And I'm like, "Wait."
Oh no, no.
Oh no, see, it's all good though, because I just took a 30-minute nap and woke up, and I was like, "Okay, now I'm good to go." Take 2.
Oh, don't do that. It's not good for human.
Oh, it's all good.
Also, on a completely random note, you know those little milk things you get in hotels, which says tastes just like fresh milk. Now you would see that and you go, that is clearly not actual milk, but it has got enough lactose that it still triggers lactose intolerances, despite the fact it is so clearly not milk. How and why? Sorry, this is just, it's just silly. Anyway, back to that seed. We're fighting Baronade.
Alfalfa getting their first strength too.
Oof, that took a while.
Yeah, it was a bit of time.
I still maintain that something that is called
Oh.
Millac made.
Okay,
Which
here we
wait,
go.
just
Here. Oh, never mind, never mind. Looking at the wrong screen. I was like, okay, we're going to Child Goron City. Wait, shit, no, it's Cariosa. He's already been here.
Child
No,
Goron City.
he's been there 2 times before anyone's been there once. Feels bad, man.
Also, we
Checking.
did hit bottle percent with that big Poe on Volvagia.
Mm-hmm.
So we did hit bottle percent.
Just some love from Daddy here.
Carriers are just
okay.
going, where the heck is this Rang?
It's gotta be going to bottom of the wall now.
Yep, it looks
Or
like it.
just
They'll
right
finally
there.
get it.
Yeah.
Oh no, did Gorodine just bail out before they found the Bone Shadow again? Oh. Oh, that's harsh.
Okay, treasure chest game.
We have seen this.
Probably in it, yeah, but he might be saved quitting, which would maybe lead to Goron City. So holding out hope here for Gorodine.
Are you holding out for a hero bow?
I need a hero. Let's get that song going.
I mean, I could sing it, but I think the people who are using my voice to drop off to sleep are not going to be impressed.
I need a way of the hero. A little wordy. I don't know if it would work.
You'd have to mess around with the scansion a bit to make it work, but you could kind of shoehorn it in.
Yeah. Okay, not save quitting out. Just gonna walk out a treasure chest game. Drew going back adult. I don't know. Could be going back water for central pillar? No, there's no way, right? No way.
I mean,
A one-off check like it's so out of the way right now, and he doesn't have fours there. It just
Carriosa is on the way to their round, though.
yep. Yeah, I think Kyrgios definitely will be finishing first among the restreams runners here.
Okay, so strength 2. We know where all the strengths are. The logical strength 2 is the way of the hero in Zora's Fountain just sitting on the iceberg. The other strength is in the falling ceiling room in Forest. Yeah, we are the only ones who know where everything is. We are in no mode.
Everyone else is just missing bow only. I guess
In all fairness,
Gordon still has to go get the ring too.
the runners can't be in no mode, they can only be in go mode. Because if they have the stuff and know where it all is, they probably have it.
Well, I guess Curiosa doesn't have wide arrows, so
Wait,
you
have
might
they
be
still
getting
not been to the river?
No.
Really?
No, I mean I think it's defensible to just skip river. It's a really kind of slowish area. If you already have hints, you already know where to go. It's not exceptionally
I
useful.
mean, hopefully they'll just, walk up there.
Right. But I mean, you didn't have to go upriver at all to hand in letter. He had scale. He got serenade before he even handed in letter, I'm pretty sure.
The light arrows are just sitting on the visible spot in lower river, just chilling. Just chilling.
Mhm. And really just a prioritization of goals too, and sequencing from Cariosa. Just going to the denser areas in general is just a good strategy.
Well, hey, we have bow mode. Well, actually, it's not bow mode. Actually,
It will be for
yes, it
Drew
is.
and Alfalfa, yeah.
Yeah, for Alfalfa, it's bow mode. For Goradine, they still need their rang and their bow.
Yeah, I could
For
see
Drew,
either
it's
or.
bow.
I mean, they're back in shadows, so I think it could be Rang for Guardian, and they might not be done for quite some time if that's the case. They
Wait, are
might
they
not be going
triple
back on
dipping
well.
shadow?
Yeah, it looks like it. I mean,
Oh god.
they will
Let's
find
hope
the other
that they
bow.
actually stay in here this time.
Have to go to the Crusher Room, which I mean, if you cross the gap, I assume you're already going there, just due
I mean, they
to
might stay in here
commitment.
hoping their rang is in here.
It could also bail again. I mean, we've already seen him come here 2 times. So.
Oh, I mean, veiling would entirely be the right thing to do, but
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see
it would
though.
hurt because if they bail again, they're going to end up coming back again if they don't go to well.
I imagine
Okay.
whoever wins the race is just not going to do Shadow. We'll go Bomb the Will pretty early, go Goron Studded pretty early. But it has to be their child too, I'm pretty sure, unless they go early adult, which I don't think a lot of people in the race will do regardless. Just based on, favoritization of openers and all that. But
So the answer to your question, Bill, is that there are two bows in Shadow. These bows are not what the way of the hero in the water temple was pointing to, but honestly, that's more helpful than what the actual way of the hero was pointing to, which was logical all dungeons for forest temple access. Trust me, the bows are a better reason to be here.
I imagine once he finds Bo, he's just going to just bail out of here at that point. But you could also see a full clear, kind of like Cariosa did too. I could totally see either happening here.
Yep. On these settings, the Rainbow Bridge is opened by getting all 6 medallions. If you want to make a siege yourself, you can set the Rainbow Bridge requirement to all sorts of things. You can set it as open. You can set it to getting all medallions or all stones, or in fact just all dungeons. Or you can be an absolute mad person and set it to 100 golden skulls. Why would you do that? Why?
And it's of note here, at least for the coming weeks, that Season 4 settings, it looks like they're going to be run in place of weeklies. But weekly settings won't be going away necessarily. But for the time being, it is going to be happening. So kind of looking forward to that for sure.
Ariosa is not walking up the river, they're going to be missing their light arrows.
Yeah.
They're just doing everything humanly possible to avoid their light arrows without realizing it.
Oh, what I was going to say for that though, Bridge for Season 4 is 2 medallions. And then you get the Ganon's boss key from 6.
Wait, what?
At Lex, yeah.
Wait, that seems needlessly complicated. Bridge for 2 medallions and the boss key for 6.
Correct.
The what? What? Okay.
It adds
I will
Ganon's
see how it
location.
works, but how on earth did anyone think of that?
Testing. It's my best answer for that, but
Okay.
it's cool because it adds Ganon's as like a reasonable location. So like, even though like in this seed we have Ganon's Foolish, like the fact that where the items are where they are, even if it weren't Foolish, you don't necessarily go there looking for things because it's at the end of the game, right? So it pushes Ganon's lower logically.
Oh yeah, I like the idea of completely open bridge. Like open bridge from the start introduces a lot of interesting things. We saw it a lot in the multi-world tournament and in the co-op tournament. It does change things up. But why specifically 2 medallions?
I don't
Just
know.
for access to it, not having it completely open.
At least because then you're expected more often, because those now are Sphere 0 checks if it's just open. So that just changes everything completely and makes it so you have to probably rush it more often earlier in the seed. So that's not exactly what the organization team was kind of aiming for, as far as I understand it.
Okay,
so
that
it's
makes sense.
two is kind of a nice place to be for a lot of reasons. 3 is a little bit late from at least from my experience. So like 2 is just, I mean, they originally were testing, Stone's Bridge and medallions like variable for Ganon's boss key, so they couldn't quite get that together in time for the tournament to happen this year. So this is a nice, at least for now, an option that they're moving forward with, or they chose to move forward with. So at least for that, like having played probably half a dozen to a dozen seeds on S4 now, overall, I think they're pretty good. The
Yeah,
biggest change is the spawn points are random, so you just use those differently.
Wait, hang on. What do you mean by the spawn points are random?
Oh, so you won't start in Kakuri Forest or Temple of Time as adult or
Oh,
child
right.
necessarily, and the age change or age start is also random. So you could start as adult, you could start as
Okay.
child, start with Ocarina. You can go a lot of different places early on. It's a lot faster paced opener than kind of what we've been accustomed to with S3 settings, because you already have ZL, right? Or the song from ZL, so you pretty much just drop in the world somewhere, figure out where you want to go. There's no foolishes, so it's much more about like big area routing. So you go from one location to the next. Sequencing matters, I think, a little bit more than it does currently. Like there's a lot of things that and applications that the settings changes have, and I think it'll be cool to figure it all out.
Oh yeah, it will be cool. I'm just slightly concerned that they won't be like new people or beginner friendly, which is what a lot of the people who do weeklies right now are people who just want to dip in for a brief game.
Right.
And so having that be something that everyone can do is really nice. So I'm slightly concerned about newbie friendliness, but we'll see what happens. Again,
I think
it's
it's
one thing to look at it on paper and another to actually
play it. Yeah.
see it played.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point and a pretty good consideration. I mean, there was the announcement by Trez in the Discord earlier this morning that doesn't mean weekly settings are necessarily going to go away with S4. It's really just for the tournament, as far as I understand it. There could be like changes adapted from it if it turns out those are really good. But I think it's important to note that weekly settings could just change anyway into something completely different. You have things that are like variants of it, like with scrubs. So I mean, if that's a direction that
Like
weekly went in, I think that would be pretty good. But like it's all up in the air and open for discussion though. So like I don't think people should get the idea that it's necessarily set in stone. There's nothing they can do. I mean, as for settings, they were all pretty much derived from feedback and then an organizational team that helped put it together. So everything here is pretty much community driven for a lot of it. So definitely make your viewpoint heard. I mean, you have the Discord channels for settings discussion, for standard, for weeklies. So definitely check it out if you haven't already. It's a really good resource for a lot of different reasons. But yeah, so I don't think weekly settings are necessarily going away, but I think that's a good point you're making.
Also, thank you very much, chat, for while we were having that discussion, keeping people up to date on the questions about where all the different items were. It is appreciated to have you guys helping us out a lot. Boomerang was in bottom of the well. It was next to the like.
Yeah, all keys were ZL locked, right?
Yep,
So you
all
couldn't even
keys,
get there,
Zelda Lullaby locked. Good luck finding that, Rang.
right? Oh, that's a cool selfie from Drew.
Yeah.
With the warp in the Link's house. Still having trouble finding that bow. So Goradine did get the bow, at least a bow in Shadow.
Yep.
Still needs that ring that Drew has, that Alfalfa has. We're both locked out of this bow. Whereas Kyrios is just kind of paving the way forward here. Has Forest Wind, I'm pretty sure, in fire. So it's really just gonna like.
Drew's not going near Child Goron City. This hurts.
Oof. I mean, he could still go Shadow, but like now you have to go Water for one check that you skipped earlier, right? So like, you have Serenade though. Like,
just
I could see going to Water because you haven't found anything there yet. And if you skip the one check, and at this point, that's like 30 minutes ago that you've been there, right? So I think it's reasonable that Drew could just head straight to Water here. But outside of that, I don't know what else they have left. They already did GTG. They did a full clear as far as I'm aware, outside of the bow lock checks.
Something I would say is going to get the Ganon hint and then going to get the lights. That's really not that bad.
Mm-hmm.
Because
yeah, for Roars, right? So
also the central pillar is not out of logic. The check in Water is not out of logic. Central pillar is absolutely in logic. Yep. Lights were on Zora's River, just sitting out in the open, just waiting for someone to walk across and see them. It's just that Cariosa has completely avoided going up Zora's River whatsoever. We have the ability to get keys given we can get Bo well before this point, but yeah, it's out of logic for him at the moment, technically.
I think his key usage is just coming back to bite him then, if that's the case. The Water Temple running can just kind of get you that way if you're not careful. Yeah, I know he saves stones a couple times, but I don't know exactly which keys they used where.
Yeah, like, without Bo, it's out of logic. So from their perspective, it's out of logic. We know it's in logic because we know where the bows are. Yeah, that's a fair point. If Drew has the bow, he's not heading to Water. Fair point.
At the very least, I'll be able to save quit back to Child at some point, but I don't know when that's going to be.
Alfalfa completely either aiming to go into Dodongo's Cavern or completely missing getting the Zora Tunic on the top of it. I'm not sure which. Wait, have they not been into Dodongo's Cavern at all? Or did they just not finish it?
Completely avoiding stones entirely, which is definitely, that's something you can do in a seed. It can have disadvantages and advantages, but yeah, Kyrios is going straight to Ganon's pretty much, more or less.
They're going into Shadow.
There's Forest winning back to Fire.
Right, that makes sense.
Forest back at the Hammer Chest, I want to say.
No, it's Pierre.
Or is it?
Oh no, the Forest Wind appears to be at Hammer, yes, but they're getting the Scarecrow to go to Pierre.
Right.
Now this is a route that I've not seen through Fire Temple before.
Not
Oh.
often used. Ooh.
GG, we have a finisher. Salty Sponge finishing in first place with a time of 2 hours, 53 minutes, 10 seconds.
The sponge wins again. It's a nice time too. Probably
Sponge is
just
good.
prioritized Goron City, bomb the well at the right time. Possibly like a bomb the well over even like water kind of a play. I could totally see that. And just not going water at all. Not going shadow potentially, although I'd expect like a faster time if that was the case, but it'd be interesting to see kind of what their route was overall.
Drew.
Yeah, looking back on the VOD later. Or
No,
just in
sorry,
the
not Drew.
channel or whatever.
Doodlebit. Doodlebit. I think you might have some people making some comments about your seed. I have several questions.
I mean, we've got answers. Maybe he'll roll into restream chat.
Hey.
We've got answers. They're not nice answers.
I mean,
They're not answers they want to hear.
It's not that. I mean, you could very easily do this pretty decently. You just do a bunch of locations and you just run into everything. So I think it's fine. If anyone has any questions, I mean, that's what the Discord is for. You can get all your answers off of there. I'm sure that's where you can find where people will say don't do weekly seeds.
Also, GG to Saria's Object, getting second place only very slightly behind Sponge.
Yeah, Sari's has gone
54
really
minutes,
good.
37.
Sari's has gotten really good in the past few months.
Yeah.
Really impressed with their play. They've been playing a lot though too, so that does help a lot.
But yeah, we get quite a lot of people playing in the weeklies, but we swap around who we show on Restream. So we try to pick 4 people of we think will roughly similar skill levels, will finish at roughly the same time. And we watch those people on the restream. If someone has to bail out because, for example, they crash and lose their entire save file and go, no, screw this, I'm forfeiting, then it means we can pull in someone else at short notice. And that means that the people who finish first on the restream are not necessarily finishing first overall.
It's a really good backup from Cariosa, trying to get the one cycle for Volv still. Kind of messed up the bomb placement, so I had to switch back to choose to be sure.
Yep, not soft locking. Soft locking is bad.
Yeah, some really smooth handling.
Which just goes to show how good all of these players are.
Yeah, I'm trying to think on Cariosa here, like what could have he done better to maybe even win the seed? Do you think?
Not do shadow, not get baited into shadow.
That's the biggest thing, right? So
Yeah.
I can't
not
really
get
think
baited
of
into
anything
shadow
else.
and actually walked up Zora's River for sake.
Yeah, getting punished for logical only way the hero is just hate to see it.
It was a reasonable choice. Shadow has a lot of checks, and
Yeah, there's no way to
well
tell.
was just longer
like,
to get to.
Yeah, there's just no way to tell for sure. Especially with
That's the
Jabu
joy of
being
Rando.
a shadow medallion, like.
It is the blessing and the curse of Rando.
Double-edged sword every time. Oh, there's Colo. Nice. Third place.
Nice.
257.45. Also an insane runner. It's been on a real hot streak the last few weeks. Not quite the performance that he wanted yesterday, but nice to see him back in the top 3 here.
Yeah. What might be interesting is if, like, they didn't do a different set of logical settings, but maybe they switched up the format. So instead of doing a normal race, maybe going for a bingo or a co-op or something like that. So the bow's right. There was a bow in Spinning Pot in Goron City, and then there were 2 in the Shadow Temple. Hilariously, this means that the Way of the Heroes pointing to the Shadow Temple were useful for the people who never bloody went to Goron City. But yeah, it shouldn't take Cariosa too long to finish here. They'll go up to Ganon, they'll leave Feroz Wind ready to warp here when they find their light arrows. They'll look at Ganon saying Zora River and they will go, really? Really? It was right there all the time. And then they'll go and get it and then they'll be back. Also, Shadbow Temple, really? Really? Oh yeah, it was complete bait for Cariosa. But it could have had their rang. It wasn't a bad choice, it was just the wrong one.
Yeah, if you're like in a situation where you need 1 to 2 items and there's some drifter on the street corner and it's like, hey, listen here. Go to Water Temple. You're just like, okay, all right. Am I gonna find an item there? Yeah, it's way to here. All right. Go to water. Find Dins. Okay. Surely this is for Shadow, right? Because there's hovers right outside at lab. And then you find 2 extra bows in Shadow. Like
Cariosa, cast Feroz Wind. Cariosa. Cariosa, please cast Feroz. Oh, thank goodness. Damn it, Cariosa, you had me going there.
Give me anxiety. There we go. I thought maybe he had it set somewhere, but he already used it in fire, so sometimes you get the cool play of if you don't know exactly where it is and you have Feroz in like some far off
if lights
location.
had ended up being deep fire, then leaving it in fire would have been good.
Yeah, because then at that point you can save while the Feroz when it's in fire, and then or wherever, and then okay, so you already saved with that info. You already made your way up to the Gans door, so then you just break your Feroz, set it again, and save after the cutscene if he says my castle. Otherwise, you get some percentage points from doing that, and it can be good depending on what your warp situation is. You know, how many hours into the seed you are is a big consideration for sure. Okay, so gonna go straight to river here. For lighter race.
Given there are more checks available in Zora's River as child, it's possible, but he'll be fine staying adult. No, Cariosa has never been to Zora's River. Otherwise, they'd have seen the light arrows just sitting there on the pillar.
Yeah, would have definitely gotten them. But River's just a slow area. It's slow to get to, slow to do.
But it's got a F-Zero. And it's got hints.
Yeah, I mean...
It's a good area. Like, it's not one of the ones you immediately go to, but it's not a bad area.
I think if you don't go as adult, it's usually a waste of time. If you don't have to, like if the seat's not forcing you to. So like
it didn't really have better.
You didn't really have a lot of options, a lot of opportunities to really go here. I mean, he's really pretty dungeon centric, so he's pretty much gone to every dungeon.
This is just gonna see the lights just there.
Yeah, they're just chilling.
Just chilling.
So I think, you know, take
On the other hand, you can just do some parkour to climb the ladder. You don't need to go this way, you can just go up the other side, take the ladder, and then jump down.
Yeah, you could also get there's a setup you can get by jumping up to the platform lower than that. But not generally something you like to go for, because you have to ESS once you're up there.
In all fairness, this seed did have early scale. Early scale was technically blocking a lot of things.
You know, it's from DC. Stone DC. A lot of people could skip it. It's pretty reasonable to not come river, I think.
I mean, you got Ruto's fairly early technically as well, and Ruto's was in Boulder of Destiny.
Yeah, he had unfulfilled water and fountain when he could have possibly gone river after ice or before ice, and at that point you just don't do river. Like, it's just not worth it. Not for where he was at in the scene. There's pretty much no other point at which he was even close to river. I mean, he was in Goron City, but then he just found bow, so he just went forest, obviously, to get all your progression done. So
well, yeah, they were making absolutely reasonable choices.
Oh yeah, but that's mostly why he didn't go river at all and just hard ignored it. No items were directly way to the hero that can't even point in that direction, so it makes a lot of sense.
Left there for War's Wind in Jabu, they could have just finished in Kakariko, gone down, gone up, and got it on the way.
Yeah, this is Gorodine's second water temple trip, but Drew's gonna get the bow now.
God, they're
Just
gonna
to
hate
throw
this
this
seed.
bomb in there. Yeah.
They're gonna hate this seed. Well, Chris, Cariosa didn't need to do any shadow. They could have avoided shadow entirely.
And that's a 15-ish minute dungeon, more or less, so subtract 15 minutes from Cariosa's time, it's very likely he could have won. Just due to like overworld routing and having to get dens in the first place. Like, if you don't even do water, there's a way you could sequence the checks here, which you just don't do water and you're just leagues ahead of everyone else. And not entirely sure on if that's what Sponge and Object and Cola did, but it kind of seems like the case. There's no other finishers right now, and it's almost 10 minutes after Cola. That's
about shadow.
About like where you would find like Bo even in there. So like maybe they didn't go Child Goron City. Maybe they just went Shadow. Water was pretty early dens, so you could just warp straight to Shadow. And then if you go Bomb the Well, once you have ZL, if you don't go before ZL, I could see doing all of that and still finishing with Sponge's time. So I think it really does come down to Shadow mostly.
Yep. As it is, we have Cariosa fighting Ganon. We have Gorodine taking out Morpha. All of our people are in completely different places. I think Gorodine is desperately hoping for something on Morpha.
There's also something to be said of like, I don't think you would see it in this seed, but the bomb tree setup for pottery, you could definitely do that, get a bow really early, but the problem with that is that ZL, which is the thing that's locking that, or Dins and Magic is just not possible the seed. So it's not even like you would see that in this case, but it's definitely, that also would put you ahead if ZL was accessible at all.
Yeah, you needed ZL.
Yeah, you just needed to go straight there. So like,
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe I wasn't far off with my like just rush ZL once you get the rec
No, you really weren't.
I don't know.
Yeah, we do. It is nice to see so many different routes that our runners have taken.
Yeah, there's a lot of good diversity, a lot of good divergence in general for this race. So it was definitely good to watch on the race stream. Kind of can be a little frustrating sometimes when they're all avoiding the one check for Bo, but it is what it is sometimes.
And that is GG to Cariosa, finishing in 4th place with a time of 3 hours, 7 minutes, and 21 seconds, and sniping Sergeant Kills, who's finished in 5th place with a time of 3 hours, 7 minutes, 36 seconds. So that's a snipe.
GG's to Cariosa.
Yep. Are we going to get Cariosa for an interview?
There's another finisher in 6th, Metalo, 307.52. So they're starting to pile up here.
Yep.
We got 41,
one sniping,
I think.
the other sniping the third.
40 people in the race and 5 forfeits with 6 finishers.
Yeah. Like the people, it's starting to have all the finishers coming in here. Do we have anyone contacting Cariosa to see if they are doing an interview or not?
Yeah, Doodle's on it.
A silence. Oh wow, Alfalfa even checking King's Aura. The fish, it is defrosted.
Yeah, so Drew is going to be in good shape here to finish second on Restream. Alfalfa is still not finding the boat, although they're going back Child. Gordine heading back into DC. So he's that boomerang from Bomb of the Well.
This is gonna hurt.
Cariosa unfortunately has to go, so Cariosa will not be in an interview, but definitely said thank you, and we'll be waiting to see the finishes for the other racers on Restream.
Of course, thank you very much, and thank you, Cariosa, for playing. It's been wonderful to watch you.
Yeah, a lot of good plays coming in from Cariosa. Just really, I think the prioritization and the sequencing was just totally on point, especially considering the way the hero hits. Like, he played, everything correctly, quote unquote.
Well,
just
there
getting
is
a
no
little
such way
unlucky.
as a correct way to play a rando. There's more likely ones, but I wouldn't say there's a correct way. The spinning pot. The spinning pot had the bow. The spinning pot requires Zelda's Lullaby or Magic and Din's Fire. There was not a bow in Ganon's castle. There were 2 bows in Shadow Temple. And 1 on Spinning Pot. Hi, Saria's Object. How did you like that seed? Salty Sponge, you are not the only one who YOLO'd Shadow. Let's see. Cariosa did get baited into Shadow, and it was bait for them, given they found the bow in Goron City. Other people found Dins, went to Shadow, and found their bow that way, so they never had to touch Goron City Child. Yeah, this seed was weird. Yep, specifically the bows in Shadow were 1 in the Crusher room, and I think there was another bow. Was it Floormaster or was it the Boss Key room?
For what?
The second bow in Shadow.
It was very late. I think it
Yeah.
was in the Crusher room, yeah.
Yep.
The other one was in the other Crusher room.
Yeah.
Both in Crusher rooms.
So, something to note that if you had to go well with Zelda's Lullaby, if you went to the well super early without Zelda's Lullaby, which someone did, then you found nothing. Absolutely nothing. All the keys were Zelda's Lullaby locked in the well, and you needed the keys to get to the like room. Someone did rush well before they got Zelda's Lullaby. It did not go well for them. Sarius, how did you finish without touching well? It had the boomerang in.
with Shadow and Water being both stones, it's definitely... If you think it could be AD, just rush ZL. If you think that you might need ZL for either one of those dungeons, it's a good idea. But even just for like Spirit, you might need it, depending on key placement. Jabu, if you need to go Ice at all. We already knew Fountain was way the hero too, so I think rushing ZL definitely
Yeah.
seems like the strongest play, at least from the outset, you know, after the fact. But even before, I think it was pretty reasonable.
Yep. Rushing Zelda's Lullaby for Fountain Wave, the hero, makes complete sense. And yeah, and then it was Strength 2, and Strength 2 was just there for logical all dungeons.
And Mirror Shield just being on the way in 3 song and Lost Woods, like it's all there.
Yep. Deku was
Depends
pretty
on if
stacked.
it depends on if you skip G2G. Some people
Wait,
could get baited into
Alfalfa,
that.
why are you doing Skull Mask? You found hints saying this was a blue pea. Alfalfa? Alfalfa what and why?
I'd have just lost track of the remaining things, but I think he's just being more full clearing than anything right now. It just needs the one item. Could be on any of these early checks. He might not have the Skull Mask check or forgot about it. So it's in the area. I mean, he's on his way to Goron City, hopefully.
Yep.
Maybe
Hopefully
first the
Goron
Bunny Hood.
City.
Could be going up the Bunny Hood. It's a possibility. Seems a little unlikely, but seen Stranger Things for sure. Okay, now he's going Goron City. Okay, so he's going straight to the bow.
We'll finally have their bow.
Whereas Gordian is now a child, so he's the right age, just in the wrong location. So he's going to check Child Spirit here. I would assume he also goes Bombwell after this, just to clear things up. He has both warps, so it would make a lot of sense.
Yep. The boomerang was in the bottom of the well, in the like room. Yeah.
Although,
The rang, yeah.
what could be possibly really bad for Gorodin here is if he finds the scale in the child climb. I guess he already has the second scale. Never mind. I thought like maybe the second scale pushes him towards the lake water, finds the dens, goes shadow. But that would still, I mean,
I'm sorry, I'm being amused by chat again.
forgot
Just
he had
like,
dens already.
oh fucking hell, I was going there, but I needed lunch.
Yeah.
GG Master Alex, finishing in 8th
Nice.
place with a time of 3 hours, 16 minutes, 2 seconds.
It's easy to lose track of things, especially in a race like this, both watching and running it. So
Oh yeah.
anything past 3 hours, after 4 hours, definitely is almost
Yeah,
always
this is
the
why I
case.
noted down some of the pertinent bits of logic in notes, so that I can explain this nonsense.
Oh, the notes are way the hero almost every time. Notes are great. Big advocate for notes.
Yep. Admittedly, I mostly take notes for the interview.
Well, yeah, there's that too. Even just running just helps so much in a lot of difficult scenarios where you can't mentally juggle everything sometimes, so it's nice as a backup.
Just putting on the skull mask after getting that bow.
Nice.
Just no.
Yep.
They are not amused.
It's the
Not amused.
kind of mood we're in, so
Yeah.
a lot of racers are gonna fall into this trap of the bow, not go shadow, go Goron City late, or go shadow late, never go Goron City is also
That's
very
apparently what
possible.
Sponge did.
Yeah. Not too surprised by that. Being more dungeon centric like that. If you just go straight to the dungeons and you get ZL immediately, like it's pretty much a straight shoot, just you can't get baited by Bomb the Well if you go straight ZL. Is
Yep.
the biggest thing. So at least for me, I never try to go Bomb the Well unless you have ZL and bombs. But sometimes it gets to a certain point in the seeds. If you haven't sequenced in quite the right way, it might not lead you there exactly. And You're never going to get the perfect situation in every seed, so
No.
trying to play towards that is sometimes risky in itself.
Yep. And yes, Goron City Pot. Alfalfa has just found the bow in Child Goron City. They put the skull mask on in distaste at that bow placement. I think at least some of the others ended up finding it in shadow and just avoided Goron City completely.
Yeah, that was Goradine.
Yeah, Gorodine is still hunting for their Rang in Well, which they might not find for a while because they went to Well super early without Zelda's Lullaby and found absolutely nothing. Unfortunately, Zelda's Lullaby locks all 3 keys and thus the boomerang. Oh, there's FaZe finishing in 9th place. GG.
Nice. Pretty good.
Drunit is on their way to Ganon's Castle actually before Alfalfa.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because for most of the seed, Alfalfa and Cariosa were in the lead, but just not finding that bow for so long meant that Drunus could catch up and overtake.
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes down to execution. Never went into shadow at all, so only did things that were currently in logic, and turns out he did miss the bow. It can also be kind of a difficult point is I know I've missed an item somewhere. Where in the overworld do I go check it? Or do I go to this other dungeon and check there? But that also could just be a complete waste of time. So at that, it's not a great feeling at the end of a seed.
He's going back.
Okay. It's going back on the bottom level here. So all 3 of the remaining people on Restream are going to finish for sure. 100%. It'll be a real question on if Goradine or Alfalfa finishes first. I think right now it's probably favoring Goradine, but
Which is interesting because, again, Cariosa and Alfalfa were in the lead for a lot of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that bow just
Goradine
really
is going to be so irritated. They're not going to be happy.
It's been bow or Rang on Restream. So I think for Cariosa it was Rang, for Goradine will be Rang, and bow on the top half. They just, I think we had, 3 people dip water and they all skipped Central, and then Cariosa didn't.
And then found Dins.
Or Goradine also got it too, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least bow mode, at least like being bow from go mode, it means that you have a lot of the seed locked to you, so it does narrow down where you're looking. Technically.
I mean, a lot of races just come down to a few key decision points, especially in larger races like this, so... might not be a resounding victory here for Sponge, but did do a couple key things probably over some other people, if I had to guess.
Yep, I would imagine either going to Shadow early enough that you weren't hunting for ages for the bow, or going to Bottom of the Well fairly early, or just rushing Zelda's Lullaby early. I don't know whether you skipped Ice Cavern entirely. Also, 10th place finish, Ashton 1988. Not a name I've seen before. 3 hours, 22 minutes, 19 seconds.
Nice. Yeah, it's a fairly close top 3 as well, so...
Yep, Sponge avoided Ice Cavern.
Nice.
Yeah, it was logical AD. Nobody has done the logical all dungeons. Okay. Ferlin, this one I can explain. Unless, Emo, did you want to take it?
Oh.
Explaining why that's behind the other two.
Because Forest locked Saria's on Burning Cack.
Yep.
And Minuet is OT.
Yep. Basically, you couldn't logically do all dungeons. No, you can't get Minuet before because logically it needed scale, the golden scale, to get the hover boots, and the second scale was in spirit. Yep, there we go. And Saria's was just straight up locked by Burning Kakariko. Yep. All dungeons if you can't Nido skip.
Oh, 100%. That's why Mido skip is very, very useful to get around this exact situation. And I think a lot of people that might be in like probably the bottom half of finishers. Probably that's going to be the case if I had to guess.
Yep, Mido is rude. We know that Mido's rude. This is not a surprise.
Yeah, Mido sucks. Link sucks. Like, there's a lot of like Ganon kind of does sometimes.
Garadine is just going. That was where the round was the entire time.
Yeah. Tough breaks.
On the other hand, they've got Serenade of Water. They can get back to Jabu fairly quickly.
I guess they didn't have For's win set, otherwise they would have gone straight there. I thought for sure they did.
I don't know whether they went into Jabu. I think they did, but I don't remember them. Also, GG to Drunus. 11th place. 3 hours 25:17, having basically kind of been semi-invisible the entire race.
Yeah, good finish for Drew here. Definitely brought it back. Kind of avoided disaster for the most part. Definitely could have found Bo way earlier, but
so could everyone. Let's be honest.
Yeah. I mean, it's the biggest thing in the seed, or one of the biggest things.
Are we getting a Drew for interview? If we do get a Drew for interview, how mad will they be?
I don't think I've ever seen Drew mad, so I don't think that's a possibility. But
yeah, Drew doesn't tend to do mad. I think maybe, possibly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Pretty chill guy all around.
Just because I have not seen them mad doesn't mean that they don't do mad. Hello, Drunus.
It's also true. Speaking of.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome. GG's.
Welcome to me. Hi, GG's.
GG. So, that bow.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that, I think.
Okay,
That's the biggest
thing.
I don't know. I just didn't feel like there was a good time to go to Child Goron City.
So, would you like to know where the other two bows are?
Sure.
Shadow.
Oh, they're both in Shadow. Nice.
Yes.
And I'm guessing Din's is in water to get the logical access to Forest Temple, which is Minuet on all dungeons.
Yep.
Yeah, it was
very
on
nice.
Central Pillar chest stands.
Dang.
Yep.
Very nice seed.
There were some people who avoided going to Goron City by just getting Dins in water and then going to Shadow.
How would you get Central Pillar without a... Oh,
Suzuki.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with me? Am I insane?
You were up really early this morning.
Yeah, I forgot there's a door down there.
So
Are you okay, Drew? Are you okay?
Oh,
well, usually you don't use it, right? Usually you don't use it.
Usually.
Like, well, how do I get in there? There's no... Start banging on the door.
Let me in.
Let me in. So outside of that, I mean, how do you think the seed went overall?
I think I played really well. I think my decision making overall was pretty good. Skipping Child Grown City, maybe not the greatest thing. I probably should have done it on my way to the river when I went there to turn in the letter, but I don't think I had bombs at that point, and I really didn't want to do the Goron pot with strength, which was the only possible check I could do there.
Which would have got you the bow, but yeah.
Yeah. I guess I could have done it with a bomb chew, and I guess I probably should have just gone, because I know the chew setup.
Yeah. Sometimes it was just the one seed where it would have been needed.
Yeah.
Useful. But, yeah. Interestingly, was actually your kind of place in the seed with respect to the other races. Because Karyota and Alfalfa were kind of fighting for who managed to reach checks first most of the time in the seed. And then Gorodine got some lucky breaks, and you were kind of at the back doing checks that at least one other person on Restream had already done. But you made up so much time on everyone else. You were never the first person to something, but just the amount of time you saved with good execution and routing things neatly into each other meant that you were the second finisher on Restream.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you also kind of have to take into account that I got to skip everything that Bo locked, including like Shadow Temple and stuff. So
yeah. Karyota did do the entirety of Shadow Temple before going to Bottom of the Well for their boomerang.
It kind of came down to either Bo or Rang go mode, at least for Restream. So Bo go mode definitely way better than Rang.
Yeah.
It seemed like the mid game was pretty hard though overall. Like it wasn't like outside of like just going to go get ZL, there wasn't really a ton that like really pointed anywhere. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It was just kind of like, hey, here's like a bunch of stuff. Go clear it maybe. And like it was stuff like I had the well open, but I didn't have a bomb bag. I had GTG open, but I didn't have a bow. And it's just like all sorts of like really weird stuff. So like I really wanted to go to the fountain, but I was already on a path that I felt bad about breaking away from. And then it kind of just like everything just took me into Water Temple, which was just really bad.
Yeah.
And then once I found the strength too, everything kind of started coming together a little nicer. But yeah, like if I found the bow earlier, I would have probably felt a lot better about this seed. But I basically last locationed it. Like I had that check, I had the big rolling Goron, and I had the bow chest. And I'm pretty sure that was all I had left.
You didn't last location it as hard as Alfalfa did.
Oh, that's not good.
No, that was where the time got caught up.
Oh.
So yeah, you said that you were really pleased with your execution. Yeah, it did really save you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I've been playing a lot more recently. There's like a group of friends that I've been playing amongst a lot recently, and it's really gotten me like I've gotten a lot of practice because of it. But I feel like lately I've been executing extremely well, which is good because I'm looking forward to like SGL, which I think it starts like next week on Saturday. And then I still have yet to play a season 4 seed, honestly. So I'm gonna start grinding for that pretty soon, and I'm pretty excited about that coming up. Which I also kind of wanted to say that like season 3 settings being gone, or not exactly gone, but with season 3 settings being sort of retired after this race, it's like kind of bittersweet because I feel like season 3 settings did take us, like, it brought us a long way, but I'm really excited to see what kinds of things happen with season 4.
Season 3
Yeah.
settings I actually quite like because they're quite kind to people starting. Like,
Yeah.
it's a good mid ground for not needing a super easy seed, but not being too bad a seed because it gives you a fair bit of help with hints and not needing a huge amount of tricks. So yeah, it's a trade-off.
Yeah, for sure. And I can't see season 3 settings disappearing forever. Like, if I could have my way, it would be like season 4 settings for the duration of qualifiers, and then just bring them back for weeklies and just have them set as like the weekly settings. But I'm not sure how
We need to see
viable
how
that
season
is.
4 settings play, really.
Yeah.
I think it'll be good to see what the floor and the ceilings are relative to what season 3 are. I think it's like the biggest thing right now that a lot of people probably don't know. Think I've played like maybe a dozen of the current final S4 settings, and I don't know. I think they're better, just kind of straight up. But even like the worst seed ever, at least initially, they look to be shorter than S3 if everything went wrong. But I
Okay.
mean,
It's interesting.
Yeah,
need more data for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna pop in real quick just to, since we're talking about that. A update has been posted by Trez regarding this conversation, and yes, as Drew has pointed out, yes, we are going to be moving to season 4 at the start of the upcoming weeklies, and it will be like that until the end of qualifiers for the season 4 tournament. After that, we're not sure. It is going to be up to the race mod team, at least according to the announcement that Trez put out, as to what will happen to the weeklies. So,
Okay, that's cool.
Okay, thank you.
so that is the current update. I mean, obviously anything could still change moving forward, but that is at least the current plan.
Cool.
Yep. Thank you very much for giving that update. And Alfalfa is heading into Ganon.
Come on, get the 1 cycle. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm behind because I'm not watching the commentary page. But yeah, good job, Alfalfa, on the 1 cycle.
Yeah. By the way, your big Goron sword was also in shadow.
That's okay. The big Goron sword kind of ticks me off sometimes. It's different. I don't like it sometimes.
Yeah. And Gorodin just heading into Ganon's tower. Also, Cariosa somehow managed to avoid light arrows by accident by every means possible.
Oh god.
So they were just sitting, clearly visible in Zora River, and they just never went there. They either came in from the top entrance, or they had Farore's Wind already set in Jabu, or they just any means possible, not going there.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. So yeah, were you ever tempted to go for the all dungeons, or did you just realise straight away it was logical all dungeons and therefore you didn't have to care?
Honestly, like I never really had the opportunity at any point. Like I was still missing the bow, which I thought I needed to complete Water Temple. Actually, I guess it turns out that I did need it to complete Water Temple.
I mean,
yeah.
logically, yes.
Yeah. Oh, is the boss key in the torch chest? Because that would be the only way, right?
I know that Gorodin found the boss key because they fought Morph, but I can't remember where the boss key was.
Okay. But yeah, and then I was missing Din's, which was also in water. So like I didn't really even have the opportunity to think about it.
Yeah.
But like even if I did, I mean I wouldn't complete all dungeons for Minuet. I would probably dip all dungeons because Shadow Temple's just too strong.
Yeah. I think that was the
But, yeah.
main reason why Cariosa ended up going in, because at that point they basically had, well, do you go to Shadow Temple or do you go to Bottom of the Well to look for your rang? And they were already adult and had no prelude.
Yeah, I think personally,
Oh, GG Alfalfa.
yeah, GG Alfalfa. I think personally, without Prelude, that's a tough call. But the well is just such a good area.
Yeah, words for swords. The scales were in Dodongo's cavern in the lobby chest, and in Spirit Temple in the Child Climb, which you could only get to when you were an adult because you were key locked.
Oh, okay. Good thing I never went in there. I was thinking about it, and
But
actually,
that's-
those are 2 more checks that I forgot that I had.
That is actually why Strength 2 locked Minuet. That is why that Strength 2 in Zora's Fountain was Way of the Hero,
Right, yeah.
because Minuet was blocked by Adult Spirit.
Okay, that makes sense. I was gonna ask about that, but I completely forgot.
Yeah, Saria's was on Burning Kakariko, so you had to complete Forest Temple to get Saria's, which you couldn't do.
Yeah,
And Strength 2 blocked Scale, blocked Hovers, blocked Shadow. If you were staying in Logic.
that makes
Which,
sense.
let's
Yeah,
face it,
when
no
when I
one
found golds, I didn't even think about the fact that I didn't have logical access to forest. I was just like really, maybe not really upset when I found them, but I was like, dang, like I didn't have to go to Fountain at all.
Yep.
Like you didn't have to go
Totally.
to Fountain, you didn't have to go to Water. Like so many of the Way of the Heroes were just useless.
Yep.
Wait. There was another strength? Where was it?
Forest Temple, Falling Ceiling.
Oh, okay. I'd never opened that chest. Also, hey, everybody.
Hi, I was
Yeah.
about to say GG.
GG. I only opened it
Thanks.
because I had to wait anyway for the ceiling, but yeah.
Is that the only reason why you...
Well, I was like, I may as well. Like, I just wanted to be mad if there was a bow there. Like, I was just looking for reasons to be mad. Because if there's a bow there, then you can just go there with the scarecrow. Even though nobody would ever do that, looking for a bow.
No, the bows were in Goron Child City Spinning Pot, and then 2 in Shadow Temple. So there was 1 in the Crusher Room, and there was 1 in the Side Crusher Room with the spiky walls.
Ugh,
That was where your bows were.
yeah.
And as Master Alex said, shoutouts to the worst set of Baron hints this season.
Oh,
Just
yeah,
making
what the heck?
sure that, like, I reckon just the hints were annoyed that the foolish hints were going away for season 4, so they're like, fine, I won't help you today then. So
Yeah, all of the
those
hints were
bows,
pretty
Alfalfa, and that rang. What are your thoughts?
Oh, I mean, so that was my literal last location for the bow.
Yep.
If it wasn't there, I was gonna do Composer Grave with the flame storage, and then I'd miss something if it wasn't. Like it was just unfortunate for me. I knew when I went adult after doing Jabu that like there was that check and there was Skull Mask, which I never saw a hint for. And if it was
Yeah, we did
if
see
it was
the
on
hints
there,
for
then
that.
I was screwed. Sorry, what's that?
We did see the hints for Skull Mask. There was 1 in Gerudo Valley, and the other one, I believe, was right below Bigoron.
Okay.
No, it
I
wasn't. It was in the
probably,
Abominable Wall in Death Mountain Crater.
that's it. Okay, I probably saw it and forgot to mark it down.
Also,
so that-
GG to Gorodine.
GG.
GG. So that cost me an extra couple of minutes because I set up for that before I went to Goron City stupidly.
I'm just gonna
What can
cut
you
in
do?
here to say I gotta go. I'm starving.
Go
but-
eat!
Yeah. Thank you, Soda. Thank you, Estancia, for commentating. Thank you, Doodle, for the restream. And GG Alfalfa and Gorodine when they get here. And Merry Christmas,
thanks for-
everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Why?
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yeah, okay.
Unfortunately, Gorodine is not going to join us for an interview as well, so we'll be here with Alfalfa Field until we decide we're all done.
So yeah, Alfalfa, did you have any more questions? Did you want to know anything? Like why the hell that strength was Way of the Hero?
When I saw the strength, it took me like a couple seconds to put it all together in my head, but I realized like I'd done everything in water that wasn't bow locked. And so whatever was in there, it was probably Din's fire. Like I was 99% sure it was Din's. And so like I didn't need to go back there anymore. So that was cool, but also kind of frustrating. I was hoping I would find Bow in Fountain, and then I could go back to water and get my strength, and then I'd just be in go mode and it'd be smooth sailing from there. But of course, that's not how it worked out.
No, Din's was in Central Pillar.
Yeah, I figured Din's was somewhere in there. So did anybody on Restream actually go into Shadow, or?
Yes, some people actually got their first bow in Shadow and avoided Goron City completely.
How do you get into Central Pillar without a bow? Oh,
Use the key.
oh, with the key. I didn't even think about doing
Bruce,
that.
Yeah.
no! How did you and Drew forget that was a
I
thing?
completely forgot that was possible. Oh my goodness. Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'm glad I didn't do that, actually. That would have led me way off the garden path.
Well, it almost never happens, right? That you're actually expected to use the key to get to
Yeah.
Den. So it's like it's makes a lot of sense why everyone missed it, but it's also really funny at the same time. Like it's just open the door
these
for
are
it.
really skilled
Yeah.
runners, everyone. I
Yeah.
promise these are skilled runners.
I
I
thought
would've
I was
done the-
being so clever, avoiding all the bow lock checks in water. I'm like, all right, I'm not going to waste time like trying to go for any of them. And dang. Well, I guess that's kind of good too. But
Yeah, I mean, it is what it
Meant
is.
that
But
you didn't get baited into Shadow.
yeah,
That's true.
yeah. But then I probably would have wound up getting my bow sooner. So
Yeah, that's basically what I think it was Gorodine did. I think they went and got their first bow in Shadow, which meant they didn't touch Goron City. I could be wrong.
the main problem is like when do you go Bombwell this seed, right? Like unless you rush ZL and don't go Bombwell, unless you have ZL, it's really hard to kind of just put it off for a long time. And so if you go in there, it's just unfortunately all the keys were just CL locked. So it's just kind of like a perfect storm of combinations and things that happened.
yeah, I kind of lucked into doing Bottom of the Well because my friggin' Scarecrow song wouldn't confirm. I had to go back and reset it. And while I was child, I was like, well, I may as well do some child cleanup. And found Boomerang luckily because I don't know when I would have gotten around to it otherwise.
I guess it hasn't been asked already. What are your current thoughts about Season 4 and kind of those settings going forward?
I'm excited, and also I'm a little sad because I feel like I really got my start like in the lead up to Season 3. These are the settings that I've been playing for like the whole time I've been playing Rando, and so like
Yes,
I feel
That's
like
scary.
my skill set has really developed around these particular settings, and so if those are out the window, then I'm kind of like I feel like I'm starting from scratch again a little bit. So it's exciting, but it's also like a little scary.
On the other hand, you would have avoided the entire logic snarl of this seed because I think Mido skips in logic for Season 4, isn't it?
I'm not sure about that. Is it?
I think they took that out. I think that was.
Yeah, I think they were thinking of doing it, but then
and
changed
took
their
it out.
mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just
Which,
made
like-
it made logic really weird in certain circumstances. So as much as it sometimes will make logic better for some part of it, it definitely makes the rest of the logic weird. I think is part of it.
Yeah,
bit
that,
like-
that makes sense, and that actually makes me feel a little more comfortable with the Season 4 settings because from my point of view, I'm mostly concerned about it from a newbie perspective and getting people into the community, and putting tricks as required is a bit... Yeah.
It's just going to have a lot of variability if you haven't played a lot of it. So it's really just, you don't do the same thing twice in a row, usually.
Yeah.
The Ram spawns help a lot, but I think it should be pretty cool. Seeing it where it all kind of goes and seeing if people, get better or get worse with the new settings. It's totally possible. Maybe it rewards certain types of runners over others. That'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot more room for taking gambles because things are going to be a little bit more wide open at the get-go. You're gonna have lots of options. I can go here, I can go there, and if it turns out to be the kind of settings where like gambles pay off, and then it's all about like who takes the right risk, that'll be a little disappointing for me, I think. But I don't know. I've got an open mind about it. We'll see how it goes. I'm excited. I'm excited to see how it goes. I'll definitely be entering next week.
Nice. Would it change your mind if they were? What if they were all calculated gambles? They weren't just like wild ideas necessarily, but like
yeah. This is the thing. Is like you don't really know. Like right now, we don't really have a good idea of how it's going to be. But like, yeah, I think there's going to be a meta that settles in after a couple of months. Like, oh, it's it's an adult CAC start, so like this is the play. It's a child lawn start. This is the play kind of thing. But it'll take more time to develop, I think, because there's so many possibilities for the opening.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the point of him too. Is we just don't know. That's also the cool part.
Yeah.
So
we just don't know. We'll see how it all falls out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's exciting for sure. I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna miss these settings though.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're still going to be around. Apparently, there was an announcement that happened relatively short time ago that it's going to Season 4 settings for the qualifiers, and then it might be going back.
So to re-clarify, the way that the announcement has been put forth to everyone, starting next week, so this upcoming Saturday, the weekly races will be Season 4 settings, and it will be Season 4 settings for all of the weeklies up until the end of Season 4 tournament qualifiers, because as many of you know, the weeklies are also utilized as qualifiers for the season tournaments. Now, at the end of the Season 4 qualifiers, the race mods will take a lot of the community feedback and make a determination as to what will happen with the weekly settings versus the tournament settings. So it's very possible that we may have these settings come back. It's possible Season 4 might be kind of edited a little bit. So we'll figure that out. For right now, definitely everyone in the community is very excited to see how these new Season 4 settings move forward. Give them a shot, play them, give feedback, because obviously the more feedback that we can get, the better experience we can have for everybody. And that's definitely what the weeklies are really about, is playing, having fun, and having a good experience. I think we'll go ahead and we'll end it here, and unless there's any other final thoughts.
Nope.
All right.
I was going to suggest shifting on as well.
Yeah, all right. So let's go ahead and let's give a big thank you to the commentators here, Astania and Imasoda. Thank you very much. A lot of great discussion that went on today. Thank you to our trackers. Our trackers, Purple, Siberian, Kasinja, I apologize, I'm always going to pronounce that wrong, and Rogue Copter. We could not be doing what we are doing without you. Thank you so much. And of course, to our runners on our restream, Drunus, Alfalfa, Gorodine, and Cariosa, thank you very much. Please give them a follow. And go ahead and see how they'll be doing for that upcoming season. All right, well, with all of that said, let's take a look at the schedule. We have a lot of stuff going... Actually, we have a lot of stuff going on for the rest of the day. We have a multiple number of Breath of the Wild 80% tournament, Losers Bracket 1 and 2. There's even a... that are going on. We have a Minish Cup Randomizer weekly race, which is going to start in essentially an hour plus a couple minutes. We also have a Skyward Sword monthly bingo race that'll be taking place at 3 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. UTC. As well as there's 2 Wind Waker spoiler log tournament matches. One of them is going to be happening in very shortly. I'm going to see how long I can extend this just the tiniest bit so I can see if they'll go live and we can raid them. Let's see.
Let us raid.
Yeah.
Sorry, what?
Nothing too much coming up for Monday, but on Tuesday, Wednesday, there's a bunch of stuff happening, so plenty of things to do. So go ahead and give us a follow if you like what we do. If you really like what we do, give us a sub. And yeah, let's go ahead and let's see if they went live. They have not gone live yet. All right, let's find someone in our...
waiting for us to clear out so they can take this channel.
No, they're listed for a different channel. Let's go ahead and let's raid somebody here that's still running this weekly.
Oh, ZeldaSpeedRuns is live apparently.
Oh, did they just go live?
I'm relying on chat here.
Zelda Speed.
And chat, as we know, is all knowing.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah, they just went live a little bit ago. Okay, so we'll go ahead and raid them. We'll see you all later. And good luck to everyone on the upcoming Season 4 settings. We'll see you all later. Goodbye.
Bye.
Have a good day.